I see a good thing arising. I see more goes on the way. I see McNugent, it is frightening. I see greatness when they play. They scored a goal tonight. Well, McNugent's quite a sight. It don't matter who's on the right. I see their chemistry growing. I know this duo could be huge. I see the talent overflowing. I hope the Poho keeps a nooch. They scored a goal tonight. Well, McNugent is quite a sight. It don't matter who's on the right. All right.
Nugent Hopkins, left bomb. Not about the shot. McDavid does take it, and he scores. Power play goal, Connor McDavid.
Hope that these guys stay together. Hope you see the skill you can't deny. Looks like coaching them is a pleasure. Aikens would have seen it in their eyes.
Oh, 6:02 on a Monday morning. That is how you start the week. The Edmonton Oilers trouncing the Anaheim Ducks, cashing the -1.5 on the puck line at Coolbet. Hopefully you're riding with us on that one. A little McNuge to get your day going. And, Rick, this sets up nicely where we could be playing McNuge quite a bit if Knobloch, Coach K himself, decides to leave these guys together.
He's pressing the right buttons thus far. Hey, 8 goals. That's a McMuffin-esque type of performance.
Very much so. Very much so. Totally forgot about that.
I know.
But they put up a nice effort. Last 2 games, 13 goals
2
combined
in
the last 2 games. That game against Washington, I thought they were absolutely outstanding, and thought they played a pretty good 55 minutes against the Ducks last night. Of course, you can comment anytime in the Nasty Chat. You can also text us, of course, in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999. A teeth into the inbox early this morning. You see this? It was the morning after a Duck hunt at Rogers Place. The Mighty Oil look like they've returned to the team that we all know and love. The Ducks from the Sun State of California come to Rogers Place and got roasted. It was American Thanksgiving. The Oilers didn't want turkey. They had some duck with all the fixins.
All the fixins.
That's in from Atif today in my best Atif voice. Atif with the duck roast text to get us going here on a Monday morning. Not too shabby. You got to love that. 780-218-9999. And we'll get into more of your text messages as we work our way through the show. Paris Jewelers inbox. Of course, they've got a lot on the go right now. Tis the season. Tis the season for Christmas shopping. The Black Friday sales, I think, run until today. So you still got a chance to get in. It says here November 24th to the 27th. I'll get a little bit of an update on this tomorrow. But the Black Friday sale continues. Jewelry items on sale for up to 70% off. Not too shabby. Do not pay until 2025 with their flexible financing options as well. And they also have a new holiday collection that's out, I'm assuming, leading up until Christmas. A portion of all the sales from the collection will be donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Canada. So pound that box at 780-218-9999. Man, I was just feeling it right now. I didn't close my leg in the door today when I got out of the truck. But, like, I went to close the door, and the bottom corner of it smashed into my knee. Yeah. And I'm just feeling it right now.
Right on the cap?
Just below the kneecap. Yeah, it just kind of hit me again. God, how do you injure yourself, you know?
Yeah,
that's a really tough look.
Monday morning, here we go.
Really tough look. Nasty Chat will obviously be going as well. We got a few goal songs we got to get to today. And it's like people have been waiting all season to have one of those types of games, or these 2 games back-to-back. The question is a simple one today. And we'll ask Darren Dreger, and we'll ask Ryan Rishaug. Hell, we might even ask Mike Tanier. But are the Oilers back? And I think the common answer will be, let's see what they do against Vegas, right?
This is eerily reminiscent of that Islanders Kraken week. And again, you might say the wins in that style were not the same as this. I mean, stout defense, you mentioned Friday in Washington. I mean, there are differences there. But, yeah, Vegas is a different animal than Washington's and your Anaheims now who've lost 6 straight and are kind of, what's the term, regressing to the mean.
The Ducks have come back to the mean, man.
Yeah,
the mean is sitting there. The Anaheim Ducks, this is the mean to the Anaheim Ducks right now.
You're going to live with me now. Yeah, I'm going to take care of you. Because I love you. I love you, John. Oh, I love you.
The mean loves the Ducks.
Yeah. But you take it. You take these wins, and Friday, again, 2-0 here at EST watch parties.
Yep.
Thank you very much. But a button-down play against, a Capitals team that isn't known right now for its offense, and the Ducks, yet again, losers of 5 straight going in last night, but the goal production's got to be encouraging for a lot of these guys. Hamblin getting one on home ice as well, second in the campaign. A lot of good things, a lot of good looks as well that Anaheim provided them. It was almost as if Anaheim kind of, the Oilers would and we'll get into the morning after show, but Skinner early on looked a little shaky. And it was almost like they were handing Anaheim an option, like a ticket. And I'm saying, no thanks. We're good. We want to go for the 6th straight. So, 2 wins is good. And I think in the style they're doing it is encouraging. Vegas will be another test. And I think there's some other opponents here that
Well, the next
a good
8,
measuring stick.
It's a big 8 coming up. Big next 8 games. 7 of them are at home. Some pretty good teams rolling in. You're getting to look at Carolina, Tampa, and Florida are going to roll in over the next 3 weeks at home as well. And 2 huge games this week before like a little 5-day break. The 2 games they've got Vegas and then on the road quickly. One quick trip out to Winnipeg to play a pretty darn good Jets team right now. So very interesting week for the Edmonton Oilers with 2 big tests. Loomis is in on the Nasty Chat and says, Tuesday will tell us who we are. And I know that's reading a lot into one game, but Vegas hasn't been playing great as of late. They've been shut out like 3 times in their last 6 or 7 games. The Oilers are just put together the back-to-back best 2 games of the season. Still hard to believe we're saying that in late November, but it has happened. I think as of right now, they're 6 points out of a wild card spot, so that's not a crazy mountain to climb.
Knocking that goal differential down a bit, hey?
Especially when the teams between them and a playoff spot are absolute garbage. So they should be able to overcome some of this. But let's see what happens, because the goodwill that they just got from all the fan base for these last 2 games, 13 goals, McDavid looks incredible, blah, 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 blah. If they lose to Vegas on Tuesday, everybody's going to be like, well, see, still can't beat Vegas. So can't wait for this game on Tuesday.
And I guess one encouraging thing is McDavid looks more healthy, would you not argue? And that's,
well, I don't know how all of a sudden he can look healthy.
Wake up one day, you kind of...
That's strange.
I feel better.
Did McDavid, I was looking today, when I opened up the computer here at work, the YouTube channel from the pregame show that Tommy and I did, where I hopped on with him on Friday before our watch party, I was looking at, the last couple of comments in the YouTube chat, and they were like, guys, I don't know what's wrong with McDavid, but he's clearly hurt. So that was Friday afternoon, right before they played the Washington Capitals, in which he put up 4 points. Then last night he goes out and puts up 5 points. So did he miraculously just get healthy, or did some sort of switch flip? Is it the fact that he's playing with Nuge and Hyman maybe that's got him going? But it was kind of interesting how all of a sudden it has just flipped. And we'll hear from Connor McDavid. Maddie, we got Connor McDavid. We can get to that in the post-game show, or in the morning after show. We had him on the post-game last night as well, so we will get into that. The Wolf is in and says, I've noticed less horrible pinches, but when there are pinches, there's better coverage from the second D-man. Could Coffey be teaching them things? That's in from the Wolf today. I mean, maybe. I mean, he is a coach. It should be expected for him to help these guys a little bit. We'll see where this goes. 2 nice wins. 2 games in which, yes, they scored 13 goals for, but they allowed less than 3 in each of them.
Yes.
Which we don't say about this team
and
very
again,
often.
just to be cynical, though, 2 teams as well that don't really have much of their offense going at the moment. So I just want to...
Yeah, there was a reason midway through our watch party on Friday, I was like, Stuart Skinner's getting a shutout.
Midway through the
because
second,
Washington doesn't have a sniff offensively, and then the Ducks suck. But the fact that the Oilers' offense has got going, we'll see if they can use that momentum to push into this 2 huge games here against Vegas and Winnipeg.
Nice couple of
this week.
Thanksgiving heavy bags to beat up on. And maybe, just maybe, the Oilers now rewrite the Thanksgiving narrative, right? Maybe it's now Thanksgiving where the season actually starts.
Very much. It's like
rewrite the whole thing.
It's the CFL Labor Day. Right? Because the CFL Labor Day, if
do whatever
the
you
season
want.
doesn't even start.
Prior. No,
I think somebody said, I think it was Belinescu who said, yeah, nice to see the Oilers start the season with 2 decisive wins.
Yeah.
You know, they're back on track. I think that's very much a positive. They got back on track. And, of course, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he can play.
Grow a mustache cause he's too young, but he's playing like a superstar. Oilers took him at number 93 on, and he's been great so far. No one was sure if he would make the team. Scott said his vision was the very best. Game-winning goals and 5-point nights. It sure looks like he passed the test. He's like 99 in a way. He rarely makes a mistake. He's on the right track, baby. Oh, the Nuge can play. Just make your way to the net. Stick on the ice and you're set. The Nuge will find you, baby. He was born to play.
Dry? Not.
Everly, safe to say the Nuge can play. Baby, oh, the Nuge can play. Along with
Dry? Not.
Everly, safe to say the Nuge can play. On the right track, baby, oh, the Nuge can play.
Oh, the Nuge can play indeed, as he is now on that line with McDavid and Hyman, and they seem to be clicking rather nicely. We've got a McDavid goal song to get to still. We got the Hyman goal song to get to still. We got the Leon Draisaitl goal song to get to still. So wake the kids up because the songs are banging. The tunes are banging here today. If you're watching on YouTube, hit us up in the nasty chat. If you are listening online on TuneIn or at edmontonsportstalk.com, Texas and the Paris Jewelers inbox, you could win Text of the Day for A and W, where they have brought back the mushroom matzo burger. And they're selling it for a ridiculous price of just $4.59. How's it even possible in today's economy? Mushroom mozzarella burger just made the comeback. Available in 3 sizes: Mama, Uncle, and Buddy Burger. Fully loaded with mozzarella, cremini mushrooms, grilled onions, and a grainy Dijon aioli. Just $4.59. Limited time only. Got to move quickly on the mushroom burger, and they will get that taken care of. Hey, they were doing the wave last night. You see that? You can do the wave when there's 3 minutes left in a game and you're up 8-2. I mean, that is prime. I would have been disappointed. People would have been like, what? I would have been disappointed if they didn't have an 8-2 wave going. You know, if you're going to do the wave in a 3-2 or 2-2 hockey game, you better damn well do it when they're up 8-2.
That's the time you do it.
Yes, that last night's game was made for the wave. Made for it. Hey, good morning, boys. I'm super pumped about the huge Oilers win, but the Edmontonian in me can't help but focus on the Oilers letting in the first 2 of the first 4 shots. What's wrong with me? This is a PTSD thing, right?
Totally is.
Like,
I mean, you've seen it all before again.
You made a great point. Like, the Oilers, Stuart Skinner and the Oilers briefly were like, here you go, Ducks. Like, the Ducks came out. What were they out shooting at one point? Like, 7-2 or something. But the Oilers scored 3 goals on their first 4 shots. I said last night on the postgame show, I don't even think the Oilers started going until they were up 3-2.
It was an exhausting period.
Yeah.
And then the looks the Ducks were giving the Oilers, too. I mean, breakaways, 3-on-1s, that type of thing. But, I mean, it was a bit of a shaky. And I don't blame people for, I mean, you've been in the muck, right? We've been in the muck. You can tell when the muck's about to bubble up here, so I don't blame people for that. That's what I'm just saying, too. It's a Ducks team that, again, you put 8. It's a good exercise. You're getting that goal differential. You put 8. Lots of guys are scoring. But it's steps, right? Take this step, on to the next one. Vegas tomorrow.
I thought Cass made an interesting point last night where he said, you know, that game felt a little bit like the Oilers early in the season where they come out with a pretty good start and then give up like 4 scoring chances and 3 of them end up in the back of the net.
But it's when the game is like it's teetering on the like anybody can take it right now, right? The Ducks are giving it to you're giving it to the Ducks, but you're right. Early in the season, they would give the other team the game, and in this fashion last night, they took full advantage of it, and good for them.
Strummy's in and says, the last few games feel like my kid's U9 major team after beating 2 U9 minor teams in a row. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. The big test is coming. They get Vegas and Winnipeg this week. Also, 2 wins for the U9 Wildcats yesterday. And the 2 back-to-back little games picked up a couple dubs on the bench there with the coaching staff. We felt pretty confident about the boys. They worked really hard yesterday.
Now you had your, were you putting in the candies as well? Were you yelling? Were you getting the assistants to do it? What were you doing?
No. I am an assistant. I'm a very much like a positive coach,
not a vocal
a coach
barking.
of positivity.
Yeah.
Now, Saturday we lost both of our games, and I was on the bench being like, "Why is nobody listening?" Because it was frustrating. Saturday was frustrating. Sunday was great. We've done this thing with these kids, and credit to our head coach. But basically, in practice, we just tell them after a goal or after a goalie makes a save, 2 guys go out wide. The guy who gets the puck passes to the guy wide, and then you move it up the boards.
Okay. And
we started doing that, and as long as you don't go up the middle in U9 hockey, you're really not turning it over.
You found a formula.
Yeah, I go over to Scott, our head coach, like 10 minutes in the game yesterday. I said, I think this is really working. Like, we're not turning the puck over. We're actually moving it up the boards, getting it down into their end. It was actually quite incredible. So, the White Mud West Wildcats with a split on the weekend.
You're like the Paul Coffey, eh?
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. Well, this morning, boys. What a game by Nurse. Is Coffey building a relationship with Nurse and getting through to him? #nasty. I hope so. That comes from Sherwood Sheldon in Midland, Texas. What? Put it on the map.
Put it on the map.
Midland, Texas. Let's make a note of that one. We'll throw a pin in there. We got 200 map pins. We got to do something with them. Midland, Texas. I like that. Somebody texted into the postgame show last night from Belize.
Belize?
Yeah. And then somebody else in the
I
nasty
don't
chat
believe
last
it.
night was like, yes. So last night, somebody in the nasty chat goes, Dusty, you just missed a huge opportunity to say that's unbelievable. And I was very disappointed in myself because that really would have been something I would usually say. So I'm glad you knocked that one out of the park here today. And your morning after show here shortly. Let's lay out the entire show for you today. Morning after show coming up for EM Utility Locating. Make sure you stick around for that as we work our way through the hour. If you have any thoughts on the game last night, and I would think like 13 goals in 2 games is outstanding. Well, they outscored the Caps and the Ducks 13-2. So that's nice. Goal differential improves by 11, which will go a long way. I'm assuming many of you are still sitting here going, beat Vegas. And it doesn't matter how you beat Vegas. You don't have to beat Vegas convincingly.
No.
Beat Vegas. And I think a lot of the fan base will be like, okay, they're back. Don't you feel like that's the case?
That would be one of those things where even the most cynical of kind of looks back and cocks the eyebrow. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What was this here? Like, again, the Krakens of the world and the Islanders and the wins are wins, and in the position they are, you don't scoff at any of them. But to kind of get a good look and a good idea of this team, we said it prior to that 4-game East Coast swing, and prior to the win against the Caps, It wasn't looking too rosy. So, yeah, I want to see a bit of a stiffer test, and I think this group will as well. I think they're champing at it right now. They're hungry, and they're eager to prove something of themselves. Bring on the big guns, baby. And maybe this is, as you mentioned as well, a decent time to get a Vegas Golden Knights squad as well at home and coming off a big 8-goal performance against the Ducks in Vegas, who are kind of finding things a little difficult as of right now. So, yeah, I want to see the big test. You get these points, you get the wins, and that's they need them. But I think you want to juice this thing up a bit. Right.
We'll get into a little bit of the picture from the NFL as we work our way through the 6 o'clock hour today. Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend coming up here just before 7 o'clock. Darren Dreger will be by today. If things had not gone how they did on Friday and Sunday, we'd be asking, all right, who pulls the trigger on a trade? And what's funny is if they lose to Vegas and lose to Winnipeg, and then they have that 5 days with no games, I think at the same time everybody will be once again going, who pulls the trigger on a trade? But if they beat Vegas and Winnipeg, then they got a little 4-game heater going, and all of a sudden, kind of put themselves right back in the thick of it. Cool Bet Hotline of the day coming up around 7:20 today. Mike Tanier is going to pop by around 7:45. He will wish us a good week and help us recap everything that happened yesterday in the NFL. Set up the Monday Nighter. Where are you going to be for the Monday Nighter tonight?
Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Centric Casino Fort Road. Hey, it's $11.99 loaded burger night as well. If you're not looking to cook a little supper tonight, come on down. Let us take care of you. You get a deal on some beer and some highballs as well. And a decent game tonight, Vikings and Bears. Of course, you got the free square board going on as well, so you can get down there and perhaps win something for free.
Free square board is still blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's easy.
How does anybody do a square board for free? It's incredible.
Easy. Yeah.
It's incredible. So join Lieutenant Eric tonight for that. We will have your Monday Night Football challenge a little bit later on today, probably when we do have Tanier on. We'll get into that a little bit. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. Somebody was tweeting at me from a Mr. Mike's again yesterday, so I like seeing that. That'll happen just after 8 o'clock. 3 questions too many for the great staff over at Park Mazda. The Monday morning Got Your Back mandate with Ryan Rishaug. Are the Oilers back? The wrap for William Huff around 8:45 today. We'll text in. We'll dish out text of the day, and the sound of the day. Jocelyn is in. She's coming to see you tonight at Century Casino. That'll be a good one. Everyone in oil country is all excited about a big win. Not to be the Debbie Downer, but Gibson starts that game and the Oilers are down 3-0 after 1 and lose the game. Holy smokes! Who sent that in? John Gibson? Look at yeah.
It was a dostal night, was it not?
It was that type of evening, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know.
All right, let's get into your morning after show for EM Utility Locating. Mm-hmm. This happened last time with this song too, didn't it?
Yeah,
What is going on with this song inside the Nasty Club, man? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Last time it did this a couple of times, and then it eventually ended up working.
It's corrupt.
There's something happening here. The Oilers look a lot better this year. Another win, put 2 points on the board. Telling me your faith is restored. I think it's time you stop, listen, here we go. Wake up with the morning after show. This year's team's looking strong. Connor and Leon, they can't do no wrong. 6 o'clockers are losing their minds. Getting so many messages on the text line. Think it's time you stop, listen, here we go. Wake up with the morning after show.
All right, morning after show. If you want to listen to that song on demand, you can do it inside the Nasty Club at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The morning after show, right? It does, doesn't it?
Don't get that one a lot,
There's
hey?
something happening here. Imagine this show Wednesday morning if they beat Vegas. That'll be a full-blown parade planning from the fans. It'll be quite the scene.
And as somebody pointed out in the Nasty chat, Vegas in Calgary tonight, so maybe the Flames can
soften them up a little bit. Wow, that'd be something. Morning after show brought to you by EM Utility Locating, GPR and concrete scanning. That's where they look at your concrete and then scan right through it. Which is, it's like you're driving a Tesla, right?
It's like
see everything.
Jurassic Park when Alan Grant, they put those charges in the ground.
Yes,
and it pops up the.
Scary. More like a 6-foot turkey. Yeah. I hated that little kid. There's only been a few little kids that I've hated in general. Oh, that's a thing we should do. Kid draft.
Kids we hate from movies.
No, not kids we hate from movies, but just like draft of
kid draft.
People,
We're drafting
kids in movies who are
we're gonna get
draft
flagged.
of movie
We're
kids.
gonna get flagged somewhere for this one, I think.
No, I think we can have like
know
Macaulay
about
Culkin
this.
first
Yeah.
overall. Home Alone. Kevin.
I will say great casting with that kid in the draft. Like you couldn't have picked a better.
He nailed the role.
Yeah.
He nailed the role for sure. GPR and concrete scanning, damage prevention, planning, design, education, training, and more. If you have a job that requires you to see beneath the ground, EM Utility Locating will have you taken care of. Visit them at emutilitylocating.com. facebook.com and tell them that the AM Nasty sent you. EST, big moment that happened. What are you going with here,
Well,
buddy?
you could go for the whole first period.
My
what
goodness,
a period
what a
that
period.
was. And as I said, kind of both teams really, in my opinion, exchanging like, hey, you want this coupon? No, you take the coupon. I want. I'm going to go with the big moment was the Hyman, the 4-2 goal. At that point, I know Nuge made it 3-2, the breakaway and everything, but I still kind of thought with a 1-goal lead and kind of Skinner was, I don't know, man. He wasn't looking too like every time the puck was around him, I was getting a little like nauseous.
The one that was flipped in and he went out, like to reach it with his glove, and he closed his glove too soon and it bounced off. I was like, what is going on with this guy today?
And he was getting lucky on a few of those too. Like, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, I guess. But at that time, Hyman puts them up 4-2, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, if Skinner does, settle down or even one more mistake, I think now a 2-goal lead against this Ducks team, as the game goes on, I would bet that. And that's eventually how it happened. But I'll go with the Hyman goal to put them up 4-2. And the way the Oilers are playing through those 2 periods, it was difficult for the Ducks. 4-2 is the moment for me. But again, a bit of a shaky and a weird opening period, especially in the Oilers D zone as well from Stuart Skinner.
I'm going to go with the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal that put them up 3-2. Simply because more time to talk about the pass that Darnell Nurse made.
Hey.
And
a hell of a night for him as well.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse plus 3,
Again.
3 assists, over 25 minutes. Very nice night from Darnell Nurse. I'm not sure he's made a pass. Like, that has to be a top 5 career pass from Darnell Nurse. From behind his own goal line, essentially. Straight shot on a rope. Had to rip it up there pretty good to make sure he got it between the 2 defensemen. And the Nuge, a sneaky boy, sliding in behind, walks in. And where did Nuge go? Everywhere he goes every single time. Low blocker. I don't know how goalies get beat low blocker because they know he's going to shoot there every single time. But just a phenomenal pass from Nurse. Put the Oilers in front for good. And you just kind of knew that when Nurse is able to execute a 140-foot pass right up the middle of the ice to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, it's there for the taking last night. So I'm going to say the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal to put them up 3-2 as your EST. Big moment that happened. Connor McDavid, let's get to some Connor McDavid postgame. The captain, 9 points in his last 2 games. Here's what he had to say last night.
The best start, but you guys didn't seem to get rattled by it. You just kept going and then kind of took the game over.
Yeah, it was a good response. Goal by Leo's line. Big goal by Kaner. They go up 2-1 again, and we find a way to get back in the game, and something that we've been missing kind of throughout the year. So good to see a little bit of resilience there.
Obviously, points to you come a little bit easier, it seems, than other people, but early on they weren't going in as much for you. The last week you got 12 points in 4 games. Is confidence remotely a thing that even you at times would struggle with, or just things going in now that maybe weren't going in earlier?
Confidence is obviously a big part of it. I think our whole team is playing better, and I think that's why you're seeing guys start to have success. It's not just a light switch that one guy or 2 guys can just turn on. It takes a whole group, and I thought our group's been playing better of late, and you're starting to see guys have a little bit of success, and a little bit too is it just going in. Guys are making plays, and it's just going in.
Just to build off Jason's question, I mean, what have the last 2 games meant to you guys as a group as you're trying to get it going here?
Yeah, obviously it's big, but all it is 2 wins, and need another one on Tuesday. We just got to keep rolling our game over, and that's all there is to it.
You seem to be playing a bit cleaner game, I guess, just, maybe simplifying things a little bit. How would you kind of see that your game the last week or so?
Personally or the team?
The team.
The team game, I think, has definitely just been simpler, something that we talked about, and I thought guys have done a great job of kind of buying into that, and we're a good forechecking team. We really are. And when we use that to our strength, we can make it a half ice game pretty quick, and that's something that we need to keep doing.
Talk about James Hamlin and just what he's brought to the team since coming up.
Yeah, he's great. He's just steady Eddie back there. On that line, and brings a lot of reliability, and chipping in with a little bit of offense is always great. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Just looking forward to Vegas here on Tuesday. Now, you guys are playing your best hockey of the year right now. It's a good time to kind of get them in here. And
Well, it's a big game. It's a measuring game for us to see, where we're at against, one of the league's best, if not the league's best. So, good measuring stick game for us, and something that we should be looking forward to.
There you go. That is Connor McDavid. A little bit on James Hamblin there. Hamblin getting his first home goal of the season, second of the year. A little wrister that gets blocked. Goaltender did have a chance to reset, comes right back to him, fires it home as well. And you hear what Connor McDavid called him in there? Steady Eddie. Which I think almost automatically means we have to go with it as well.
If the captain's saying it.
Yeah, if the captain is saying it. We'll get to that in a second here for EM Utility Locating, who are presenting your morning after show this season. Super stat of the night. What are you looking at, Rick?
A few numbers pop off the page. Certainly Connor McDavid's point production and tally over the last, 9 and 2, 5 last night, a goal and 4 assists. It's tough to look away from him and the captain, and especially given the start of the season that he's had, rocketing up the charts as we speak. Almost by the minute you have to refresh the page to see where he lands in point production. So a goal and 4 assists from him. I thought special teams last night as well, shutting off the Ducks 0 for 3 with the man advantage, 2 for 6 on the power play for the Oilers. And, I guess I'll leave it at that. Stuart Skinner, again, a good night numbers-wise, but as I mentioned a little earlier on, a little shaky. I don't think he was tested to the extreme that he might tomorrow night. But nonetheless, not coughing up too many big chances or making too many big mistakes there. So you go with McDavid's point production. Obviously, that jumps off, and I'll give it on to the special teams as well.
Yeah, special teams were certainly good last night. I'll take a look at the 2 goals and assists, 3 points, just over 19 minutes, 4 shots on goal for Zach Hyman last night.
Talk about steady Eddie, though. That's steady N-word. I mean,
he's as steady as they come every single game in, game out. Zach Hyman brings the effort every single time. That'd be my super stat of the night. 3 stars of the game last night. Connor McDavid, a goal, 4 helpers, 5 points. Zach Hyman, 2 and 1. And Darnell Nurse was a +3, had 3 assists in the game. One of them highlight reel onto the tape of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, setting him free on a breakaway. Who's the 4th star of the game last night?
I'll go with Vander Kane. Another goal, another assist, 10 hits.
10 hits
during
last
the night
for Vander Kane.
He's been bringing it all season, especially when this team has been down. I mean, he has been a source of light for this squad. So, yeah, I'll go with the Vander Kane. I think you can make a case for most nights if he's not in the 3 to add to the 4. Goal, assist, 10 hits for one of Vander Kane last night.
38 star of the game. Cam Fowler was -5 last night, but I think I'm actually going to go with Jackson Lacombe, who played just over 21 minutes, was -4, made a horrible pinch on the play that led to the McDavid goal. He likes to jump him into the rush, but I thought there was some ill-timed decision-making moments from Jackson Lacombe last night. The Ducks blue line does suck, though. I mean, if you look at the Ducks blue line, it's Cam Fowler and not a lot else. Unless Low Tide's listening, they do have Radko Gudas. Gudas played just over 13 minutes last night. Ended up being a +1 in the game. So it was Fowler and Lacombe that were pretty much just ravaged last night by the Edmonton Oilers. 38 star of the game will be Jackson Lacombe. The EM Utility Locating Steady Eddie of the evening. I think the captain said it for us. Got to go with Hamblin, after he was referred to as a steady Eddie by Connor McDavid. Hamblin last night had the goal, 2 shots, played almost 10 minutes. And, as long as your bottom 6 can come out on top, you're probably pretty happy.
That's especially from this
with
squad.
how things are going for the Edmonton Oilers. So, yes, it'll be James Hamblin who will be your steady Eddie of the evening for EM Utility Locating, GPR, and concrete scanning, damage prevention, planning, design, education, and training. They've got you covered. Visit them, www.emutilitylocating.com. You can message us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999. And, of course, here in the nasty chat as well. Connor McDavid burying another one last night.
Connor McDavid.
Let me say yeah.
Remember that name.
McDavid off a turnover. Walks in. Has a step shot. Glove shot. No, it slips behind Holtby. And that's McDavid's 30th. Finds McDavid. The net is empty. Shoots and scores, and this one's over.
Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid. McDavid. Remember that name. Here is Connor McDavid. smart move. Here he is. Beautiful. Remember that name.
Connor has no limit. Connor has no limit.
Connor McDavid. Remember that name.
No limits when it comes to this guy. He's simply too fast. Think he can just fly. No limits, so why do you try? He'll score on his own, or he'll give it to dry.
Connor McDavid.
Fans in heaven cause of 97. The nation in love from Gibbons to Devon. Looking to pass, team men on the ass. Second contract, a lot of cash. Tick, 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 tack, take your time. McDavid on your team and you'll be fine. Just open your eyes and you will see it. Oiler for real cause he has no limit.
No. Connor has no limit. No. Connor has no limit.
Remember that name.
Remember that name, indeed. And somebody in the nasty chat there says, man, I miss Bob Cole. You know what's funny is when we listen to that song on the way to hockey, Marshall and I do the Bob Cole parts. Smart move. I just, here it is. Like, he just, God, the voice of my childhood, man. I absolutely love Bob Cole. I even love Bob Cole at the end when he didn't know the names or numbers of any of the players.
It made it
and
a
was
little
still just calling the
entertaining.
games.
Yeah,
No, I thought that was absolutely terrific. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, and we'll get to more of those. That would be into the Paris Jewelers inbox. For a guy who resigned from his position on Friday to be back here this morning helping us on the show, I don't know if it's an amazing commitment or a guy who's already looking to get back in as the commish of our next Nielsen show draft. What do you think, Rick?
Well, it seems pretty early. I mean, we're not too far removed from Friday afternoon, and
It's the first show we've done since.
He's sniffing around, I guess. Maybe he wanted to come on here to make sure that there's no unnecessary narrative being no more leaked texts, shall we say? Eh?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, we had to give him our phones before we sat down today. It was really weird. Our Saturday Night Live draft came and went. If you missed it, it was quite entertaining late on Friday morning. It ended up being the same order as last draft. I won. Milne was second.
Yeah.
You were third. Yeah. And Tommy Gazzola back-to-back fourths in the new building.
Milne kept nibbling up on the second spot and nicked me in the end. But
he did.
A valiant effort. But Tom losing back-to-back.
Back-to-back, that's
a
tough.
Look. The Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, well, you can't use the pick on Jimmy Fallon fourth.
That was
overall.
the turn.
Tommy Gazzola never disappoints in the 4-5 swing. He usually has one really good pick and then one pick that's just all-time bad, and that's what ended up happening. And then if you missed it at the end, even though we drafted by his ridiculous rules, the commissioner still ended up stepping down. And I don't know, man. You've had a couple nights to sleep on this. Yeah, you're going to be back for the Christmas
maybe
draft.
Retract?
Can I?
Yeah, a chance to retract.
Can I just take a few minutes to say a few things? If you don't mind.
Oh my God.
I'm just that. Like, can I?
Yes, of
okay,
course.
And I just.
Is this another official statement?
No. I just want to point out a few things. And I just ask for people to take emotion out of what I'm about to say.
Oh my God.
Separate your emotion and just listen to what I have to say and take it for what it is. Firstly, in the leaked messages that were sent, EST Glue Guy asked the question. The very next text came from one Dustin Nielson.
Oh God! You just taking this for somebody screen capped it.
It began with Comish's call.
It did. I'm not denying it.
Very good.
And then I make a call, and you guys lose your mind. All this emotion, all this frustration. But I made my call. But apparently, I wasn't allowed to make my call because it wasn't the call you wanted.
So we wanted, not me.
Right, but it was Comish's call.
Yeah, but it was unanimous.
But it was Comish's call. Secondly, during that draft, I just want to point to a moment in that draft. I wish I called it out at the time.
What?
When Jay Milne was picking his last female cast member.
Are you going to Jay Milne right now?
Well, no, I'm going after all of you for this.
Whoa.
One. It was his last one, and he said, I'm out of picks. And you guys were all like, yeah, because these stupid rules are hurting us. These stupid rules have caused us to have no one left. That was for female cast members. I just would like to point something out.
Okay.
No one had taken a celebrity impersonation at that moment. Not one pick.
By design.
The cameo, the recurring character on Weekend Update didn't have a single female taken. The cameo appearance didn't have a single female taken. The Weekend Update host didn't have a single female taken. The host, musical guest, did not have a single female taken. So you guys ran out of females because you guys didn't prep enough females in the end. It had nothing.
I had enough.
It had nothing to do with. But you were even saying it's because of these stupid rules. The rules actually had nothing to do with that, because you didn't take females anywhere else. But you guys all made it about this one rule I made. You made it about everything else. And you just didn't focus on the draft fully. And in the end, as a commissioner, you have to make tough calls. You have to make firm calls. You have to stand by your calls. And that's what I do as commissioner. That's what I did as commissioner. Got to make it past tense because I'm done. I've moved on. And in the end, I gave the four of you the chance. Then you guys riled up the nasties all day. You guys got them going all morning.
By your rules,
You got them going. You guys kept telling me they want your resignation. They're upset. You guys kept going that whole way. And in the end, I gave you guys the chance to put my head on a silver platter for them. And you guys didn't have the guts to do it. But my final decision as commissioner was to give the nasties what they wanted, because I have the guts to do it. I have the guts to give them my head. I am done. I'm ready to move on with my life now.
Did you just deny my dunk?
Here.
He killed my dunk.
He blocked the dunk.
You blocked the dunk.
You LeBron the LeBron.
Yeah, I tried to LeBron him and he blocked the dunk.
Dunked the dunk.
He's got the master control board on the other side over there.
Dunked on the dunk. He did his.
I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope your next commissioner. I hope your next commissioner is able to deal with you guys as best as they can as well.
I'm telling you right now,
this is it.
Our next commissioner will not have problems with us because we're not that difficult to deal with.
As I said, you guys went after my rules about the females when there were no other females taken anywhere else. So good luck to the next commissioner. Good luck to you guys. It is time for me to turn over the page and focus on the next stage of my life. And really focus.
Stage of my life.
Really
what the hell?
Really focus fully as a commissioner of the Dunya. Maybe I just, trying to wear two commissions hat at the exact same time maybe wasn't the best moving forward. Maybe I need to put a little more into the Dunya. So I'm very excited about that. It's all I need. Just to focus on the best CFL fantasy league in the world.
Interesting comments.
There's some agreement in the nasty chat. People are talking.
I just don't know. We drafted by his rules. I don't know why you would quit after all of that. It's not like you did boycott your final pick.
That's okay.
But we drafted by your rules.
Because you guys
I will say the draft does not look as good as it could have. Because everybody's looking at it going, Harry Carey wasn't taken.
Didn't see that once.
Trebek wasn't taken.
Didn't see those texts or those tweets.
There were a few tweets.
Didn't see many of them.
There was a couple of them. Do you want me to bring them up?
Go bring them all up. Bring up all of them. Do it right now.
He's got receipts.
Send the URLs to me. I'll put them up on the screen. All of them.
He wants URLs.
In the end, it's another dub. And
congratulations on your win.
I think what ended up winning this one was probably...
Some people liked your depth. People really liked your depth.
Yeah, I think Norm McDonald really stood out, which is why I took him in the first round. And when people would have looked in that, the middle of that group that I had, and you would have saw Sandler, Mike Myers, and Norm McDonald, I don't know. I think that helped. And then Van Down by the River, motivational speaker. Yeah. I think that one probably helped as well.
Phrase for commish. # justice for Maddie. That's being sent in various times in the nasty chat.
How does Maddie need justice? He legitimately resigned.
Justice for
It's not like we fired Maddie. In fact, we had a discussion and decided, with a couple of tweaks here, we'd love to have him back.
I want to bring him back 100%.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, no, I heard everything you guys said. Tommy, as soon as I was walking, before I walked back in, said I was going to be on a short leash, and somehow you guys were talking about.
Listen to anything Tommy said.
Somehow you guys were talking about reinstating me when the question was whether I should stay on as commission, on or off. I don't know why there's a reinstatement.
Maybe we don't accept the resignation.
You didn't even suspend me yet. There was none of that. I don't have to be there. That's not happening.
On behalf of all four of us, the draftees, we refuse to accept your resignation and you have to return for the Christmas draft.
I don't have to do anything.
No, when
I'm
you resign, we refuse to accept it.
That's cool. I won't be there.
We're gonna go full blown Costanza.
I won't be
and
there.
just sort of like continue on like normal and pretend it didn't happen.
Matty got Woodcrofted. It comes in from the Wolf.
Where are you at? Where are you at on like a chance to redeem yourself?
I don't need to redeem myself. I stand by everything I did. The draft went very well. Even though you guys made it about these rules, that really didn't impact it at all. Some great impressions were taken. Some great impressions were still left untaken that could have been taken. Yeah. I'm very as a final draft, as me as commissioner, I think that's one I could go out on. Very, very pleased with.
Did it have something to do with the podium? Do you think the podium had anything to do with this? Too much?
No.
Maybe you bit off a little more than you could chew?
I didn't bite off anything. I was perfectly fine. It was you guys that made it all about this one thing, and
we accept
I'm
your
very
I
resignation.
feel like even deep down inside, you like. I think you like sticking to your guns, and I respect that.
I stand
But
by
I
my
think
decision.
Deep down inside, you're like, this probably wasn't.
This
the
is
best.
No,
Bettman and
I
the Coyotes.
stand.
It's
You want to know
Bettman and
something?
the Coyotes, and he's not going
Matt Cassian yesterday telling me I was right. I had Hernan Salas saying I was right. I had
What?
Raider Jesse telling me I was right.
Hernan
There's
Salas?
a lot of people
Silent
out there that
majority.
actually came out and Northside Sandwich yesterday at the start of the pregame show said, after listening to that draft, the Wannock was right. People are seeing what I was seeing prior.
Well, we
needed
refuse to accept
so
your resignation.
That's cool. I won't be here
we
for the
accept
next
it in
draft.
protest.
Oh, so you're gonna actually miss out, and we're gonna be sitting there with no commish. Are you gonna come in and host?
Again, here I'm back to this. I gave the Nasties what they wanted, and you guys still don't have the ability to do that. So,
Coyote Steve is in and says, Maddie playing the victim. LMAO.
there's no victim at all. I'm very pleased with how I was as a commissioner of Nielson Show / EST drafts, and I go out with my head held high. And now it's time for maybe it's best for all parties to move on.
Are you going to move away? Like,
Yeah, when you
it
say
sounds
the
like
next
you're gonna
stage,
Draft
you're like,
days, draft days, I'll
kids are old.
have moved somewhere else.
Yeah. Justice for Mr. Lean that comes in from Jason.
Zulu says, if Maddie isn't commish, will he be a participant in the drafts?
Ooh.
Does this
Other
open you
side
up
of the
to
fence.
possibly be a draftee, Maddie?
The EST draft is the past part of my life. It's time to move ahead.
The whole thing.
Strummy is in and says, Maddie, it's a short walk to the bathroom for a long look in the mirror. That's pretty good. Also, my mom texts in this morning and says, okay, Maddie is right. Stop picking on him. He knows his stuff, and he should stay as commish.
Well,
So there's my mom saying that you should continue on the path that you've been on and handle things the exact same way. Now, what I'll say is, hey, Mom, get the hell out of here and go to work. Second of all,
but you don't want to disappoint Mrs.
Matty,
Nielsen,
where do you
right?
come out on if we were like, okay, Matt, you have all the power in the drafts. Look, he's already shaking his head. I think he wants in. Look at that, Eric. Look at that face. That's a guy
I'm
who
not
wants all
going
the
back.
power.
That was what I told you guys on Friday.
I think he's back,
it
baby.
stays
There's some
as in or
negotiation.
not. And you guys were like, no, we need this olive branch, all this stuff. And it was no, then I'm
It
out.
would have been nice to throw the boys an olive branch.
Why?
Moving forward, a little more discussion on things. That's it. That's all we were asking for.
I go back. The text said, commission's call. And then all of that happened because of that. You guys could have just been upset about the decision and went ahead with it. And no one really would have batted an eye based on those rules. Really wouldn't have been a story. But you guys made it the story.
Is this,
And it seems like you guys aren't happy with me. Find someone else.
Would you?
See, you guys can't even find someone else that you're already trying to
We
convince me to
haven't
come
even
back.
looked.
All
We're
right.
trying to convince you to come back because we're friends, Like,
Yeah.
I
Not
was for 100%.
it's a scary.
EST draft, it's business, it's not personal. Friendship could be put aside.
It's scary to think that if we give you ultimate power and oversay on everything, where this could actually go.
I think you let him do this on I Got Beef later in the week. He has a little bit of show meat,
And
and
he's
we're
comes
all
back.
back to normal.
Yes,
He's got a full
little
stomach.
bit.
I want show meat.
We'll offer you the show meat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of show meat. And everybody's
We'll
back.
bring
on
Corey
track.
in here. He can feed you the show meat,
Right?
and then we'll all be
We're gonna
back
go
to normal.
crack
We'll
those
all
6
be-
o'clocker loggers on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, how did Savage get 8 6 o'clocker loggers yesterday? Does anybody know this? I don't even have 6 o'clocker loggers at my house yet.
He knows somebody, hey?
My God.
They go down a dream, though, don't they, Savage, in the nasty chat this morning? He was, he's getting the party started early. It's nice to see the enthusiasm, though.
Yeah.
With him and whomever he was with, coworkers or friends.
Yeah,
or
no,
whatever
it looked great. Belineski says, hashtag justice for Maddie. Stop with the justice for Maddie hashtag. Although I do like Amy's in it says, hashtag respect for Maddie. That's a better hashtag, right?
Yeah, it is.
Right? He doesn't need justice. He quit on us.
Respect.
But if you decide that he deserves respect, then maybe that's the better one. Chris Sadaway is in and says, the commish is who we thought the commish was. Instead of putting in the hard work of draft commissioner, he's off to his 25th floor downtown condo.
What is it, the fellatio suite or whatever that we were talking
Martin
about?
is in and says, this draft is tearing Dusty's family apart.
Well, people are taking sides. Yeah, it's a household divided.
My wife again, she goes, oh, were you super cocky on the draft again? And I was just like, I said, well, I won.
I like that you're 2-0, but in your household, nobody cares. Like, oh,
well,
yeah,
Marshall
yeah.
cares.
Well,
Marshall's got my back no matter
Daddy's
what.
boy, yeah.
I would be Marshall. We're going to jump off this building together. And he'd be like, I love being here with you, Daddy. Like, but, yeah. I mean, I thought my wife would be proud of my accomplishments, but she's just like, oh, no, were you being arrogant and too hard on Maddie? I was like, God, like, this is a woman I love. She is tearing my family apart. She doesn't like the way I draft. My mom's supporting bloody Awanek for some reason. And the HR daddy's nowhere to be seen.
Here.
Like, how can he not step in here?
Well,
And
a ruling, yeah.
an official, what do you put when you put something in to, like, deny a claim? What's the
veto?
wording on this? It's like more of a formal veto. A sanction. Oh, how is HR daddy not getting in here
talking sanctions
and dropping a sanction on Awanek for resigning as commish? My goodness.
See, already crawling back to me. Crawling back.
Crawling back.
Well, you keep trying to
what a weekend wave
deny
it is.
my resignation, all of this, as opposed to talking about potential candidates, talking about potential resumes that have been sent in.
Who we're going to get? Your brother. Let's get your brother to come in and commish this thing. Did he actually say it?
Actually, we're joking about that. He said how funny it would be if it was me. And also, you guys said the new commish, Emma Wanek.
That would be pretty funny, actually. Oh, that's not bad. All right, hey, let's. This one's in. It says worse commissioner than Jeffrey Orridge. Oh God, that must sting a little bit.
Too soon.
Guys, after thinking about it, the main reason the draft went off the rails is the definition of the categories was made 12 hours before the draft. Easy fix. Draft core categories and their definition needs to be set 2 days before each draft.
We could have hashed this thing out during the week, I guess, in hindsight. We've done that in the past. But certain weeks,
the categories were thrown out about a week prior. I had started mentioning
loosely,
them,
but they were kind of.
It was like a little bit like, are we crossovering? Are we not?
Never the official.
No one ever really asked the questions. The questions are always to be asked,
and little draft snafu. But I think we'll all be back for the next one. You know,
a little show meet. Take it a week.
Myself, Milne, Tommy Gazzola, Lieutenant Eric, and M. Iwanek.
Tell you the justice for Maddie shouts though. I mean, it has erupted over the weekend. Friday, I mean, the boos of the nasty chat were deafening.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just, and now it's like, people have slept on it. A couple of days, a weekend away.
We had 2,000 comments in the nasty chat during the draft, and I'd say about 500 to 600 of them were the boo
high
moments.
drama.
We were out here, and Maddie sat back down midway through that draft, and we're out here being like, people, it's a full-blown Bettman treatment. Full-blown Bettman treatment, but even Bettman didn't resign. You might be the first commissioner ever to actually step down as opposed to being forced out, you know?
Because once again, I have the guts to make tough decisions. You guys didn't have the guts to give the Nasties what they wanted. I did.
This is about guts.
And I gave you guys the chance to do it too. Like I could have just come right off the bat when I resigned. But no,
I just thought it would have been really
you guys
mean to,
the
like,
chance
kick you out, you know?
to go and like, hey, Nasties, you're upset with him. He's out. But you guys couldn't do it.
It's because we're nice guys, Matty.
Nasties didn't agree with me for many decisions over my ruling, but in the end, they could agree on that last one.
All right, let's get into our good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. Lieutenant Eric, what is your good from the weekend, my man?
Well, I think you have to go to the Edmonton Oilers.
How do you not go with Connor McDavid?
It's pretty simple and simple. I mean, sports at this time of year. I mean, we could go to a riveting college football weekend as well. Some other aspects, but yeah, the Oilers Friday, as mentioned here, 2-0 at EST watch parties here, defeating the Capitals on Black Friday afternoon, and then going and winning on a Sunday evening against the Ducks. getting some goals, playing a little more defensively sound, one could argue. So, yes, I will say a good, not great, but a good weekend for the Edmonton Oilers.
Also on McDavid and the Oilers, 9 points in 2 games. They scored 13 goals in 2 games. He was in on 9 of them. He all of a sudden looks healthy. I don't know how that happened overnight, but maybe it was a full-blown Mr. Miyagi. Hands together, rub it down, make it work. This text says, why not make the draft rules an agenda item on one of your future weekly meetings, which we'll have a meeting this week. We can put it on the list. We'll have the entire official staff meeting talking about the resignation of said commish and where things go from here. Nash in the nasty chest. I disagree with Iwanek on all of it. You're bad from the weekend. What do you got for your bad from the weekend?
My bad, I'll have to go with the Buffalo Bills. It's not ugly, but it is quite bad for them right now as they take the Eagles to the brink, to the limit.
They did.
1,000 yards of offense from the Bills and Josh Allen playing lights. Okay, he makes the odd error here or there, but I mean, I don't know. You're on the road, you're in Philly, it's raining, it's cold, it's a mess. You take them to overtime, you have various opportunities to win the game, and you come up short again, not because of too many men on the special teams, not because of offensive play calling, but because of defense not being able to hold it. And now people are looking at the coach. It's going to be tough for the Bills. They're still in the hunt. Obviously not where you would like to be if you were a Bills fan and heading into the season, but they got to win, and they got to win a lot of games right now. Almost like the Oilers, there's no room for a break now. You have to go out and you have to pretty much win. I could see them losing to KC, winning that Dallas game at home, and then beating the Chargers as well. It's not insurmountable. But, yeah, I'll say a bad result for the Bills and having to go and win on the road in Philly in the case that they're in.
For my bad, basically been away almost every weekend for like 5.5 months. So Friday night we had family movie night. We watched Leo, the new Adam Sandler comedy on Netflix. About this little lizard who helps all these kids in grade 5. It was actually pretty funny. If you have kids, watch
Is it a
Leo.
cartoon or does Leo?
It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon, and Sandler does one of his classic Sandler voices. But it's good. So we watched that, and then Saturday, my wife and I were like, you know what? Finally, a chance for us to like sit down, and we're gonna have a movie night. So first time in like half a year that Tammy and I have sat down and watched a movie. We ordered in popcorn from the theater and everything. I skipped the dishes. It was great, and then we watched Barbie. Because everybody was just like, oh, man, Barbie's incredible. Farrell's in it. He was actually pretty good. But I don't understand the hype for Barbie. My bad here is that we used our one movie night in the last 6 months on a dud. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it wasn't awful. But I was expecting like this amazing, absolutely hilarious, every single moment Barbie movie. And I got a couple of laughs along the way, but I fell asleep for part of the second half. So major letdown when you use like one of your few movie nights that you get on a movie that ends up being a dud. And that's what Barbie was. Even my wife after was like, I thought that was going to be better. So
it's one of those instances where you're like this close to phoning them back and demanding, like, hey, I receipt, like any sort of like, you get your money back somehow, some way.
Yeah.
You would hop in your car, you would hop in your truck, and you would drive down there just to get your money back. It's that bad. And falling asleep is it's a true test.
It really was.
You can't.
I fell asleep during the Ken song that everybody was talking about.
That's tough. Yeah, I don't know.
During the Ken song, which I can't really even remember how it goes because I dozed off. Barbie was like on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 5. And I needed like a 7 or 8, for that first movie night we had in a while. It kind of sucked. And what about your ugly from the weekend?
My ugly would have to go to the Trouba stick swinging incident. Now, I know you can look at this thing from various angles and argue one looks like he's actually taking a Jose Canseco-style swing, and then another angle that he was off balance and kind of falling over. Then when he got picked back up by it was the Predator player, I do believe they were playing, but the stick. It just looks bad. It looks bad for a league when a stick is being swung like that, and I think some people, too, arguing that it was a fine. I just think the whole thing is ugly. I hate when the NHL and you have a general topic of conversation. And it's, the stick swinging to the guy's head, was it on purpose or not? And that's kind of so $5,000, I think, was the fine for one Jacob Trouba. But if you try doing that, it's just a weird look. It's just a weird look nowadays. And I know everything that's happened overseas as well. But the Trouba stick swinging, purposefully, accidentally, whatever you want to call it, just looks bad when it's out there in various areas of the internet.
And my ugly here, and I threw it into the prep last night. My ugly is our commissioner, leaving us high and dry like this due to a few words.
That's the ugly.
A few words and nothing more. It's my ugly.
Wow.
I feel like this is going to sound really bad, but I feel like we've been so much meaner to you so many other times, Maddie. And then to have this one actually be the end of it, that's my ugly.
I believe after I resigned, your words were, we'll have no problem replacing him. We'll have hundreds of applicants.
That doesn't mean
And
we
yet-
don't want you involved.
Well, but you just said, I'm leaving you high and dry.
You are, though,
Go grab
right?
one of those 100 people and bring them in.
Tensions were, the spirits were high
It's
Friday
very
afternoon.
simple.
Maybe things were
It's very
said that
simple.
people didn't really.
What do you think,
entirely-
Maddie? Did you say anything that?
No, I
wouldn't have-
stand by everything. You know?
I thought maybe. Right?
No, very clear.
You were quite fired up.
I'm pretty clear on
Retract
everything.
anything
and
you said.
I'm ready to move forward with my life, and I wish everyone with Edmonton Sports Talk Drafts the best of success. And
You sound like you're going to be on 1440.
I can't
this
wait
week,
for the book.
goodness sakes. Like, you're not leaving us, are you?
you could throw me off my 25th balcony if that happens.
All right, we do have Dregs coming up. Ryan Rishaug a little bit later on. Let's get to a sports rewind with Lieutenant Eric. Here we go. Well, actually, wait a sec. Let me flip this over. I had it on some songs there. All right, sports rewind with LTE.
A 5-point night for Connor McDavid. Stuart Skinner stopping 21 of 23 shots faced as the Edmonton Oilers picked up an 8-2 win over the Ducks from Rogers Place. Oilers now 3 points back of Anaheim for 6th in the Pacific. Ducks have lost 6 straight. Oilers welcome in the Golden Knights tomorrow night, looking to make it 3 wins in a row. Ravens reclaiming top spot in the AFC with a 2010 Sunday night win over the Chargers. You can join me tonight for Monday Night Football at the Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge when the Vikings host the Chicago Bears. Loaded burgers on special at $11.99, as well as a free squareboard with prizes on the line. The Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, Central Casino Fort Road, where every day is game day. Toronto Raptors dropping one in Cleveland, 105-102 to the Cavs. Raps back on the court tomorrow in Brooklyn. 5 games stop the schedule tonight, including the Lakers in Philly to take on the 76ers. Sports update brought to you by Universal Rewind. Maintenance days aren't just for hockey players. Electric motors need that tender loving care as well. Contact Universal Rewind to have them properly maintain your motors. Choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.03 on the Nielson Show, -4 in Edmonton right now. Looking for a high of +4 for today on November 27th. There is still no snow on the ground. I have not been. Marshall and I were playing football inside the boards of our backyard rink yesterday.
Oh,
that's
little,
how weird the weather is.
Little
right now.
arena ball, are you? Hey?
A little.
Who was
a little
Antonio
arena.
Brown? Or,
He was loving it in there. Like he's like, let's get into the rink and play football. I was just like, yeah, we can do that. We did this whole thing yesterday. We set it up. I've created a CFL monster as an 8-year-old. He's like, Daddy, here's the play. You're going to fake the pass to Schoen. Lawler's going to go deep over there. I'm Dembski. I'm going to run over here and then cut this way, and you're going to throw to me. And we've created a monster. But we can't flood the rink right now, so we're playing football back there as
Get
well.
him right into coaching.
Straight
At a
in.
very young age.
God, wouldn't that be
Screw
something?
the playing career, right into coaching.
Marshall doesn't play high school football. He coaches high school football in high school.
Younger than the players.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Brilliant mind, right?
A
Like they've been
coaching
talking
prodigy.
About. This
yeah.
guy is he can see the game on different levels.
That'd be pretty good, actually. Edmonton Oilers coming off a big win over the Ducks, who've come back down to earth here. They've lost 6 in a row. Our hockey insider today, Darren Dreger, is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Visit them at proamsports.ca, located in Edmonton on the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Avenue, just north of the Yellowhead. I'm sure they still have stuff left, even though that Super Saturday sale was absolutely awesome. Is that a hat from there?
You betcha.
I went in, I picked up a couple of Christmas gifts for my family. And I picked up a Christmas gift for myself,
Yeah.
a Detroit Lions hat. I gave it to Tammy. I said, here, you can give me this for Christmas.
Saw the Cooks and boys. They were great, but you might want to call the cops on me and my wife because we stole a lot from there just given
Because
the
of the
savings.
sales.
It was the sales. You
Classic.
feel like you're stealing, right?
A classic line right
Yeah.
there. Darren Dreger joins us, Rain Dregs podcast. Of course, TSN Hockey Insider. Dregs, happy Monday, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Good morning, fellas. Just listening to your conversation on the backyard rink, and it was mostly about football.
Yeah.
And young Marshall's going to be this highly decorated, skilled offensive genius as a coach. But I was intrigued by the early start to the backyard rink. Now, Dusty, you're a sage veteran when it comes to building these things. You don't have the liner in yet, do you?
No
Just
liner.
the frame?
No, here, just the frame's up. I put it up a couple of weeks ago because I was like, I had a little bit of a window during the CFL playoffs. So I was like, you know what, I'll get it up. And, last year was weird because it started flooding in November, but our trees still had a ton of leaves on it. So every time I'd have to go out and pick them all off. All the leaves are off the trees this year, but it was like +7 yesterday, and there's no snow yet in Edmonton, and it's almost December, Dregs. It's extremely frustrating.
I get it, but it's such a rookie mistake for those who put their liner in as soon as they build the frame, right?
Yeah.
Because of what you've just said, the leaves get trapped in there, or then you're kind of teased by it, and the next thing you want to do is put 8 inches of water and then hope and pray for cold weather, which is another rookie mistake. So
Yeah,
we'll
you can't do that.
We'll have a full segment on that as we get later into December.
Well, one of my buddies, we had a stretch in like late October, early November maybe, where it was like -14 for about 4 straight nights, and he was already flooding. He's sending me pics. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. This might be a little early, but I'm sure it'll work out in the end, just like the Oilers season, right? You sit there and go, I'm sure it'll work out in the end. They scored 13 goals in their last 2 games. Had to shut out Washington on Friday. Smoked the Ducks yesterday. Anaheim might have been the better team for about like the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then the Oilers kind of took over their Dregs. Finally starting to see signs of the team that we saw last year here in Edmonton, aren't we?
Yeah, a little bit. We're seeing a maturity in their game that maybe was the missing piece, right? So much speculation on what can Ken Holland do to help drag this team back into the fight via trade. And the pushback has been, okay, well, there's got to be more coming from within that room to actually make sense of a trade that's going to have to involve futures from the Edmonton Oilers to have any sort of influence or impact. And now we're starting to see signs of it, right? I mean, some of the pieces that need to be there every single shift, like Darnell Nurse, the defense of the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, the last couple of games, they have played better. They've given their goaltender the opportunity to make the saves. And obviously, when you've got Connor McDavid clicking on all cylinders and having multiple point games like he did yesterday, well, that's going to help a lot. But given where they're at and the fact that they're at the base of the mountain and they're still staring straight up, I think that you've got to judge this group now in 5-game, maybe 10-game increments. Let's move forward to the 5-game mark. And that doesn't necessarily mean a 5-game winning streak or a 10-game winning streak. Just play better. I mean, we have a healthy enough respect for the teams that the Oilers play, the parity that exists in the National Hockey League. That every team that you play should be and is likely going to be ready. But, you also can't deny that the Oilers team that we've seen the last couple of games is much better than they were even after the Woodcroft firing.
It's funny you mentioned how you judge them in those smaller segments here moving forward because, they get Vegas and Winnipeg, and then they don't play a game for 5 days. And if they beat Vegas and Winnipeg, then they've won 4 in a row, and you're like, it's tough to have a break at this time. If they lose to Vegas and Winnipeg, I feel like we'll be sitting here going, okay, well, they got 5 days to make a trade. So it's really fascinating what happens this week with the Oilers, isn't it?
It is, Dusty, but, and look, a loss is a loss. And how do you dissect that? Well, they played better, but they still lost. And, I guess that's a fair assessment when you look at those 2 teams that they're going to play. The Winnipeg Jets are a great story right now.
Yeah, they are.
And they're going to be a bit surly coming off the loss. No question, the Vegas Golden Knights are in a bit of a tailspin here. And I would say that that's more of a blip on the map. I had an interesting conversation with somebody prior to the start of the season with Vegas. That organization has done a healthy amount of research across the league and looking at past champions. And we talk about the Stanley Cup hangover and all of that. But they more or less embraced it. And there's not a lot of changeover in that lineup with the Vegas Golden Knights. They knew going into this year that there were going to be stretches where they weren't going to be very good, where they were going to play games where it looked like they were out of gas. And emotionally and physically, yeah, they probably are. But those are just some of the things that you have to go through as a defending Stanley Cup champion to get back to the place, which is the playoffs, where you can try and invest as deeply as you need to spill it all out again. So Edmonton has their hands full this week. Those are really two strong opponents. And if they lose back-to-back, for me, then I think you have to dig a little bit deeper and figure out, well, how did they lose? Did they give up a 2-goal lead? Did they collapse at the first sign of adversity in either one of those games or both those games? And if the tales are telling in terms of what was plaguing the Oilers for the first 15 games of the year, well, then maybe you start to creep closer to that front burner and the heat is elevated. But if they play 2 good games and lose to those 2 teams, just kind of focus on the positives and take away that you're playing better, even though you're not getting the results.
Connor McDavid has 9 points in his last 2 games, back into the top 15 in scoring. It was funny because I came in today and we saw some messages up from our pregame show on Friday, and they'd been struggling at that point. And I saw a couple of messages like, something has to be wrong with McDavid. Like, he's clearly significantly injured. And then he goes out, puts up 4 points on Friday, puts up 5 points last night, and he has looked more aggressive on the attack the last couple of games. I don't think a player, if he was injured for a good chunk of this season, can automatically just sort of switch it and look extremely healthy again. But he just looks like he's at that level he was at for most of last year.
I mean, I trust the people that I deal with there, and they're never going to disclose full-on injury specifics, right? You're not getting those sorts of details, and nor should you. But I probably asked 2-3 times through this stretch, is Connor okay? And the response I get from a couple of people who know is that, yeah, he's fine. Is he 100% feeling great? No, but again, it's a tough grind. The schedule, given what it is, there wouldn't be many players who say that they feel 100%. It's been submitted to me that maybe the pressures of what the Oilers have gone through are starting to wear on a guy like that, because it was cup or bust to start this season. How do you know how that's going to manifest individually until you're in it, which the Oilers have been in it in a negative sense for quite some time? You're never going to push back on the offensive ability of Connor McDavid. He's proven that. I mean, we're talking about a mega star here. Whatever it is above superstar status, that's what Connor McDavid has. But one thing about his game this year that has been more suspicious for a lot of people, I think, is the mistakes primarily in the defensive zone and in the neutral zone. I mean, when he's got the puck or gets the puck in full flight, look out. I mean, the skill is always going to be there. It's the bad decisions that he's made coming out of his zone or in the neutral zone that have been more apparent this year, perhaps, than any other. So he's more than capable of taking the league by storm. And even though he's gone through some tough stretches, I mean, who among us is counting him out? As you look way past beyond where we're at, you look at the projections of who's going to win the Art Ross, who's going to win the Hart, all of those things. Until you get to game 60, Connor McDavid isn't out of it, and we're seeing why in the last couple.
Darren Dreger with us, TSN Hockey Insider this morning. Darren, a bit, in my humble opinion here, Groundhog Day for me. Knobloch gets appointed. They beat the Islanders 4-1. They beat the Kraken in overtime. People are kind of getting excited, as they should be, with a couple of wins, but then we said, well, it's a big test going out east. Now it's a big test. They go out east. We know what happened. They finished the trip, though, again, 5-0 against the Caps. Last night, 8-2 against the Ducks. I feel like it's the same thing again. You win a couple, and now, okay, we're feeling good, but a big test tomorrow. And just going on your thoughts on McDavid, whether he was dealing with something or not, we're obviously seeing the better him right now. What do you take away from the last 2 games the Oilers have played compared to those Islanders-Kraken games where they're at now? It certainly looks better. The defense looks better. But is it just something as simple as McDavid finding his game, injured or not?
No, I mean, that's a big part of it for sure. Of course it is. But I think it's individually other players, not just Connor. I think the group has maybe looked in the mirror individually and said, we have no choice but to win games. Well, how do we win games? I know what my job is. I have to focus on what my job is, and then I have to go out and execute and do my job. And then collectively, it's the sum of all parts, right? And I think that was really what was lacking through much of the start of the regular season, was that everybody got running around defensively, and then that opened things up, and the pressure on the goaltending became too much. And then the pressure on the Oilers having to outscore their mistakes became too much, and it just eroded. But I think, as I mentioned right off the start of the segment here, if you look at last night's game, that's one of Darnell Nurse's better games. No?
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
was
by
great.
a long
Yep.
shot,
Yep.
one of his better games. So individually, if he's had that kind of soul-searching experience where he goes, look, would I like another 6, 8, 10 wins? Of course I would. But I've got to focus on what I can do to make this team better. And if as a group they're doing that individually, then maybe they're a far better team than what their record indicates. They don't have a choice, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have to approach it that way because, even though they're winning now, they've won a couple. We've already talked about the next 2 games ahead. They're so far back in the standings, they shouldn't even be thinking about what the Western Conference or the divisional standings look like. They should just embrace what they've done in their last 2, specifically yesterday, and go, okay, individually, these are the pieces that are going to win and get us back into the mix. That's the only way they can approach it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Nurse, because I think Friday, too, in Washington, a pretty stout game.
Yeah, he's been good the
and
last
since taking the puck in the face in warm-ups, I mean, he's been a different Nurse. That's all it takes, right?
It kind of woke him up.
Yeah,
no, he's been outstanding. And he was great last night. Maybe one of the best passes of his career to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. We had Mike Johnson on Friday, and he was in Chicago, and he was kind of joking, I'm going to look for Corey Perry, see what's going on with Corey Perry. Drake's, any idea what's going on here with Corey Perry? This is very weird, isn't it?
I mean, we know he's left the Chicago Blackhawks. We all saw the statement that was issued, and out of respect of privacy, I suppose, for Corey Perry and the Chicago Blackhawks, they're not saying more than that he's left the organization to deal with some personal stuff. There's wild speculation out there, which I'm not going to share or repeat because I don't know that any of it is true. None of it has been verified, and good luck to the person that actually puts it in print without verification, because there are some bizarre theories and stories out there. But you knew, didn't you? It felt like as soon as he was a healthy scratch in game 1, and Luke Richardson didn't want to talk about it. Our sources in Chicago were ghosting us and continue to ghost us. Those close to Corey Perry aren't talking about it in any way, shape, or form. You knew that this wasn't a simple rule break, right? This wasn't, him missing a meeting or something like that, that there had to be much more to it. And that's where we're at. But, to share what I've heard would be irresponsible. I'm not going to do that, but there's been some wild theories out there.
Well, we'll see where it plays out. That's for sure. Dregs, as always, man, before I let you go, what's coming up on Ray and Dregs this week? What do you guys got in the hopper?
Yeah, we're dropping another episode tomorrow. Tuesdays normally is where I just let the leash go and let Ferraro run, right? Because we dive into our headlines. Historically, pretty much every podcast has had some Oilers content, including
recently,
last
for sure.
Fridays. Yeah, we had some of that. So, chances are we'll touch on the good stuff around Edmonton tomorrow when the podcast drops, and then later in the week we're working on another A-list type of guest. So, some good stuff on Ray and Dregs.
Excellent, man. We'll catch up next Monday. Enjoy your week.
Okay, guys, thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Darren Dreger, TSN Hockey Insider, and, of course, one half of the Ray and Dregs pod as well. You can hit us up at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Did you even know any of the theories that he was talking about with Corey Perry?
I mean, look, you can twitter.com and you can find a few.
I just searched in a couple. I mean, there's the one saying that he hooked up with Bedard's mom on the mom's trip. Like, come on, man. like, come on. Like, are you serious?
Well, somebody asking if he's...
I mean, if that comes out, I highly doubt it. Yeah. But Twitter's just awful for these types of things, man. Like,
somebody asking if he's actually no longer with us, taking some people's tweets like he's no longer with the team. So people thinking that he's
it's a very
ascended
weird
to some
situation.
different dimension, perhaps. Right?
Yeah.
You like time travel? Maybe he's gotten stuck in a loop.
Well, because Chicago, Corey Perry's side has said that they he's stepping away for personal reasons. And then the Blackhawks said it was their decision. So who knows what the hell's going on right now with Corey Perry and the Chicago Blackhawks. Not sure that gets sorted out. But yeah,
the
you can go on Twitter
internet will figure it
you
out.
can go on Twitter and find like nine different theories of why he's not around.
But I think
man.
especially this market, though, you could argue that there was a theory here that which people would be like, hey, he's out of the lineup. Hey, he's a bottom six type of something like that. We're talking trades here, like there's
look
Campbell to Chicago.
Yeah. These rumors. This is what happens when nobody's making, like when neither side, Perry or the Hawks, are giving anybody a reason. That's what's going to happen in these situations.
Yeah.
I mean, they could come out and just say, no, he wasn't playing well. That's why he's not playing anymore. He wasn't happy with it. Corey Perry says he's not happy with it, and he's going home until they find a solution. Yeah. Boom. Done. Now there's none of these ridiculous rumors.
Even the personal stuff. Well, we know it's not for like trade. There's no business involved in this. It's personal. So now you go away, and we'll find out later.
Yeah.
Later on. But
Freezer Breaks in and says, what if Perry just realized he's on the Hawks and left? That's a good one as well. But yeah, there's I wish somebody would have provided some sort of explanation for what was going on, and then you wouldn't see some of these ridiculous rumors that run rampant until things get sorted out. Pierre LeBrun, top 10 teams in the NHL based on points percentage, and the Edmonton Oilers just beat one of them. No big deal. And they played two of them this week. New York Rangers have an 816 right now. Bruins 775. Kings 763. Knights 714. Oilers and Golden Knights. Huge game tomorrow. I think it was it Adam? Somebody was in the nasty chat earlier basically saying the Golden Knights, their PDO is now coming back down towards the mean, whereas the Oilers' PDO is probably going the other way, and we got ourselves a PDO collision Tuesday night at Rogers Place.
At the PDO Ranch. Hey,
wouldn't that be quite something? Avs, Stars, Canucks, Jets, Caps, and then the Panthers and the Detroit Red Wings with 625 winning percentage so far this year. Two Canadian teams in the top 10 right now in the NHL based on points percentage. You would have thought at the beginning of the year that would be the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Instead, it's the Vancouver Canucks and Winnipeg Jets. Wild and crazy times around the National Hockey League for sure. If you're listening this morning on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the question is a simple one. Do you believe the Oilers are back? This two-game stretch, it's still very early to say they're back, but this two-game stretch is so much better than the three-game stretch that they had. Like, they snuck one out against Seattle. They weren't playing great, but found ways to beat bad teams. Now, with that being said, the Ducks are a really bad team. We saw it last night.
Right, and the Capitals can't score to save their life.
No, but they also don't allow much.
And they put up 5.
You put up 5 on them. So they've got going for them then. Some people might not even say they're officially back if they beat Vegas tomorrow. I mean, who knows? But that's the best win on the resume so far if they can pull that off against the Golden
Well, you
Knights
mentioned the week 2 in Vegas and then Winnipeg, who, I know, again, you mentioned the two Canadian teams in Vancouver and Winnipeg. You got Demko and Hellebuck leading the charge. If you can go out and get some result this week, again, stylistically, show up to both of these teams, and if Connor's, playing to the level which most people are used to, dare to dream. Could be a week here.
Perry took a leave to protest the Awanek Commish tyranny. Hashtag solidarity.
Yeah. Here.
He's out. He's not playing again until Awanek is reinstated as commissioner of the Edmonton Sports Talk Drafts.
Or are they saying that it's because I was commish that he was sitting out? Like, it doesn't. If he's against my quote unquote tyranny, well, if he's
Put
against
him in the lineup.
But the text are saying I was quote unquote against my tyranny, and
Let's get your cool bet hotline of the day. We cashed that 3-game money liner yesterday in the National Football League. I was a lock shop partner parlay, so that was nice. Let's see here. What do we got tonight? Bears and Vikings. Not the sexiest of Monday nighters. And in the National Hockey League tonight, decent slate for a Monday. Bruins getting the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets blowing one against Carolina. Yesterday, Buffalo and the Rangers, Panthers and Sens, Tampa and Colorado. Really nice schedules
That's
tonight.
not bad,
Vegas and the Flames will be watching that one a little bit later on. Then the Caps and the Sharks. So you got 6 games in the NHL. Obviously, a Monday nighter to get to. Mr. Lean, what are you looking at here, buddy?
I really did want to go to the Monday nighter across the pond, but I can't do it. I'm looking at Bears Vikings tonight.
Come on, Wolves.
I know. Let's go. I really wanted to go something
Monday
there.
Night Football.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I love it.
You know what's plus money for props? Justin Fields, 1 interception. It's plus 110. He's thrown 6 picks in 7 games this year. He's only had 1 game this year where he hasn't thrown an interception. Like, that's one where I think Justin Fields is a good quarterback. I like him. He's my fantasy guy. I need him to have a big game tonight. But he's one of those guys where I could easily see him throwing that pick tonight, and it's plus money at plus 110. That for a lean, I would look at Fields' interception, just 1 tonight against this Vikings. On the road.
So Justin Fields interception tonight. All right. I think I'm going to go to the National Hockey League tonight. I know, and we'll get to the Monday night
Fulham Wolverhampton
football challenge coming up.
Oh.
Is that what the matchup is?
Monday Night Football, Premier League style. Fulham and
Let's
Wolverhampton.
sprinkle it. Let's sprinkle it. What would be the sprinkle play on this?
Well, while you go with your hotline.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna look. Columbus last night. I don't think they recover from blowing one late against the Carolina Hurricanes. And guess what has to happen next? They have to play the Boston Bruins tonight. I love the Bruins at minus 1.5 on the puck line at plus 108 tonight. Columbus, it was 0-0 through 40 minutes. Columbus goes out, takes a 2-0 lead in the third period. They get outshot 16-7 in the third period. Kotkaniemi, Brady Shea, and Svechnikov score in the final 10 minutes of that hockey game to pick up the win and basically steal the soul of the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're telling me a Blue Jackets team is going to bounce back tonight at home? That game was on the road yesterday. They have to get home tonight to play the Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins minus 1.5 at plus 108. That will be your cool bet hotline of the day. And now for the sprinkle on this Monday night football match. What do you guys like? Rick, you got a take on this game? Like,
Fulham suck. They can't score.
Oh,
I do.
Are we taking the under then?
It is from Craven Cottage, though. I do believe they're at home in this one, right?
Wait a second. Their home stadium's called Craven Cottage.
Yeah. The Cottagers. That's what they're.
God, I love it.
Well, the guy that
There's
owns
so many ridiculous things I don't know.
Jaguars owner, and they got the statue of Michael Jackson outside.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anyways, Wolves, 3 points up on Fulham?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at the
12th
recent
and
matches now. Like, they're coming back from the international break, so
Yes.
like, how much form can you continue into?
That's true.
Into this, but Fulham prior, they lost 2 of their prior 3 matches. Even before that, if you go a little further, they lost and drew prior. So if you look at their last 5, 1 win, 1 draw, and a bunch of losses in there. While the Wolves, they had a win against Tottenham prior to the international break. They lost to Sheffield United. They drew Newcastle United. They beat Bournemouth. They drew Aston. I don't know. I feel like
Aston Villa are good too. They're taking points off some big teams.
I do like the Wolves almost.
Yeah, on the road.
On the road, like that's tough. Plus 227 though. Like that's
to win outright as a dog.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Well, it's just a sprinkle.
Just a
The
sprinkle.
sprinkle there.
Just a little sprinkle.
But
All right. Sprinkle.
the other way you could play it if you're, because I don't think Fulham would win. The one thing that you could do, like with the cool bet, is there is the double chance where you could take something like Wolves and a draw and it's minus 158. So if you're looking to try to hedge a little bit because of the ties and the draws in soccer, yeah, I think the Wolves could, just looking at that form, if they could continue that form from the international break, they're in a much better spot than Fulham.
Fulham can't score.
Big Maple's in and says, before I place the Mr. Lean, are there any stipulations I should know about?
Yes, there is one. It's a lean.
It's a lean.
It's a lean.
It's not
just
football
a lean.
pick.
It's only a lean.
Boston Bruins minus 1.5 on the road against the Blue Jackets tonight. That will be your cool bet hotline of the day. Justin Fields' interception tonight will be the lean from Mr. Lean. Mr. Lean. As commish, he will no longer be seen. We got Mike Tanier coming up. We'll get a little Thursday Night Football Challenge as well. I was reaching on that one a little bit.
That's real
We
good.
got some more goal songs. We haven't played Hyman yet. We haven't played Draisaitl yet. My
Haven't had a
goodness.
morning like this yet
Hey,
at
kids,
EST,
if you're on the way to school today, all you children out there listening on TuneIn with your mommy or your daddy, we got some goal songs coming up. And the Oilers have a big 8-game stretch here. 7 of the next 8 at home. We'll take a look at the sked. How many points do they have to have? We'll get into that here as well as the red-hot Edmonton Oilers get set for a very important stretch on their schedule. Let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda right now with Lieutenant Eric.
Edmonton Oilers returning home to kick off an important stretch with an 8-2 win over the Ducks. 5-point night for Connor McDavid, a pair of goals for Zach Hyman. Oilers now 3 points back of Anaheim for 6th in the division. Ducks have lost 6 in a row. Oilers will host the Golden Knights tomorrow night, looking to make it 3 straight wins. Ravens reclaiming top spot in the AFC with a 20-10 win over the Chargers on your Sunday nighter. You can join me tonight for Monday Night Football, Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, when the Vikings host the Bears. Loaded burgers on special, $11.99 throughout the evening, as well as a free scoreboard with prizes on the line. The Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge at Centric Casino Fort Road, where every day is game day. Raptors dropping one in Cleveland, 105-102 to the Cavs. Raps are back on the court tomorrow in Brooklyn. 5 games dot the NBA tonight, including the Lakers and Philly to face the 76ers. Sports update brought to you by Mitch Lewicki and the staff at Park Mazda. Mitch does not lose contests. He wins them, or he quits them, because they're unfair.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Hey everyone, I'm Zach Hyman of the Edmonton Oilers.
She's so tenacious.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Revving up his engine, listen to the crowd just roar. No reason for tension, Zach is gonna shoot and score. Hyman's in the scoring zone. Right into the scoring zone. Signed for 7 years, now he's playing by McDavid's side. He's got you jumping out of your seat, 'cause of that look in his eyes. Hyman's in the scoring zone. He'll take you right into that scoring zone. You know he's gonna score a few. Playing with Connor, it's a top line overload. You'll finally see what he can do. So raise your hands up as high as they can go.
He always said that was a magician's secret.
His energy is contagious.
Playing with an edge, that's what you're gonna see. Taking the next step, 'cause he's no longer with the Leafs. Hyman's in the scoring zone.
Ooh, Hyman is in the scoring zone. Zach Hyman putting together a nice little season, eh? As steady as they go. As steady as they go with Zach Hyman, as he got the job done again last night. 2 goals and an assist for Zach Hyman. Hyman and Kane have actually been pretty steady so far this
No
season,
complaints.
right?
Yeah, you can call them each Eddie, Ed, Edward, whatever you want to call them. But those two have been a bright light.
You can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. They have the holiday collection now out. portion of all the sales from the holiday collection will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Canada. So if you'd like to help with a great cause, at the same time, get a really good deal on some jewelry for Christmas, get that done at Paris Jewelers. You can visit them online, www.parisjewelers.com. They have those do not pay until 2025 flexible financing options, which is very nice. Very nice. The Edmonton Oilers, having won 2 in a row here, have a huge 8-game stretch coming up. Here it is. Tell me this, 16 points up for grabs.
Okay.
I mean, it would be great if they got all 16. 14 would be amazing. 12 is probably kind of what they need right now if they want to kind of make up some ground in the standings. It is Vegas at home on Tuesday. Huge tilt on the road against Winnipeg. Very fascinated to see that game. The Jets have been playing extremely well. They're much deeper this year than they were last year because of the Dubois trade. Obviously, they have a goaltender who can take care of business. And then they come back home.
6
at home. Do you have it in front? I know the 6 teams. I don't know them. Let me see if I can remember the order from last time.
Sure, yeah.
Carolina
Wednesday.
Then somebody else.
The Wild on Friday.
Then Chicago.
Devils Sunday.
Devils, Chicago.
Matinee Sunday. Then
Was
Chicago.
that a matinee game?
Yeah.
Then Chicago.
And then
the 2 Florida teams.
And then you got Tampa, Florida.
Okay, so Tampa, Florida, Carolina, Winnipeg, Vegas, with a Minnesota and Chicago and the Devils mixed in there. Like the Devils,
yeah.
The Devils should be better than they're playing. Kind of an Oilerish start to the year. Now they're still 500, right? They're 9-9-1. I think the Devils are right now. So they should beat Chicago. You want to say they should beat Minnesota just because Minnesota's had a really tough start to the year, but Minnesota has played the Oilers somewhat.
They always kind of do, but perhaps
so.
a little revenge on your mind in that game as well.
But this is one thing that drove me crazy in the broadcast last night, and this is no disrespect to John Shannon. He's an absolute legend in the industry. I just thought it was interesting when they laid out the schedule, and they must have just been talking about how they get 7 of the next 8 at home, a chance to make some hay here and get back in the standings. But this is not an easy stretch. I mean, Carolina, Winnipeg, Vegas, Tampa, Florida. This is not a bunch of cupcakes on the schedule here. And then we'll see what New Jersey brings to the table. We'll see if you can kind of get over the hump against Minnesota. And then, they 100% have to beat Chicago in this situation. So for those of you listening right now on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com or you're watching on YouTube, I mean, what you want them to get all the points. They probably need to win 6 of these 8 games to climb up the standings a little bit. 500, considering the competition, wouldn't be bad, but you need more than that. So what do you expect from these 16 points up for grabs, 7 of the next 8 at home? How many points do you expect them to get?
Expectations for points right now, I mean, again, if you could kind of maybe 500 this thing, maybe a little above, I'm looking at. Like just steps, right? Slow steps, biting this thing off. And Dreger pointed out, this is 8. He's looking at 10. I think if you go 500 and a little bit better, I don't know what points accumulation that would get you. Certainly, though, stylistically, if you're looking, this week alone, at home to Vegas tomorrow, in Winnipeg Thursday, 2 stiff teams. I think if you're looking at these 2 games and say they fall by a goal or something, if they're playing to a standard, though, that a consistent standard that you like, I think it could be, palatable come out of this one 500 a little below. But you're right; they're in a position where they can't afford to really drop a lot anymore. You've got 6 straight at home against
That's
teams.
the thing. Like if they go 500 here, that's not good
tough.
enough. They're not moving up.
I know, but against that opposition. But then you could argue too that they've been fresh off these losses. You've just gone on a road trip where you've gone into their buildings, had 2-goal leads for a lot of them, and then blown them. So maybe this is something in the game with the Wild as well. Maybe you have a bit of retribution on your mind. The Devils, that's tough. Sunday, December 10th. I don't know what kind of Devils team that might be by Sunday, December 10th, 2:00 puck drop in that one.
Yeah, like are they back on
I
track
don't know,
by
right?
then?
Like who knows? So we're looking at this right now and saying, okay, well it's a tough one, but they're going to need to be tough, and they're going to need to be. You can't expect this team, if we're planning cup parades, to just beat bad teams and get to where they need to be. So yeah, it's a stiff test, one you hope that they get up for, and certainly trending in that direction. But I mean, I know Dreger said looking at 10 game kind of. I'm looking at this week. I really, this is a week. This week. Golden Knights tomorrow, Jets Thursday is kind of like that first 3 of that East Coast swing. This is kind of turning it up a notch. We'll see, and I'm taking that 6-game kind of homestand as as a reset again. I'm taking this week and then the 6-game homestand. But I mean,
I
500.
think three of these 8 teams are playing the second half of back-to-backs.
Yeah.
So you got that going for you as well.
Yeah.
I think in the Amish Man 19 says if McDavid is back healthy, they can go 5-2-1.
Certainly an X factor.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he continues to play like he did the last couple of games, of course. I mean, they're going to look great. The power play's been going again the last couple of games, which is a significant boost for them. Which is, I mean, maybe we shouldn't be surprised they've won the last 2 games. What's happened? They've started scoring goals again, which is exactly what we said for the last 2 weeks. I mean, they've defended well the last 2 games too. I will give them credit on that. This could end up being like a classic homer take with the way that the season's gone, and sometimes people think I'm too hard on the team. Sometimes they would think maybe I'm a little homerish at times. But I think they'll win 5 of these 8 for sure. They have to. They have to get 5. If you come out of this winning 4 of the next 8 games, you're no better off than where you are at right now. I mean, you can't play 500 hockey and move up the standings. That's just not going to happen.
After that 6-game homestand, it is then 6 on the road.
Yeah, 3 before Christmas, and then like 3 sprinkled in between Christmas and New Year's.
You go to the Islanders, Devils, Rangers, and then Sharks, Kings, and Ducks post-Christmas. So it'll be interesting, the holiday season, hey? I mean, and if some people in the nasty chat are saying, too, if they can just get up to a 500 level Christmas time.
Which means you have to play significantly better than 500 hockey to get there, right?
Yeah.
And nobody thought being 500 at Christmas was going to be good for this team. But that
right
would
now,
be good. That would be right now.
Snap
you take
your arm off, yeah.
Right now, you take that big time. So let's go 11. 11 of a possible 16 points would be basically at this point of the season with where they're at right now. 11 of 16 points over the next 8 is the bare minimum. Like they have to have 11 of the next 16 points if they're going to start moving up these standings. D. White is in and says, guys, 500 isn't getting us into the playoffs. It's time for the Oilers to start winning. Guys, I'm hoping that the first 15 games or so was their annual lull. Maybe it was. Greg says, in the next 20, if the Oil flip the schedule and go 12-7-1, is that good enough in your mind? Yeah, a 12-7-1 stretch would be, once again, probably what they need to accomplish in their next 20 to be in that wild card mix. So I guess we'd have to say that would be good enough at that moment. Guys, they have to play like 650 to 750 hockey for the rest of the season. That is a text to the Parachuters inbox at 780-218-9999.
At least you know now, though. Like there is no
and this
time
isn't
for
an easy stretch, right? So if you can come through this 8 games with 11 of a possible 16, and then you tack on the 4 points you just got, and let's say you make it a 10-game stretch, then you've got 15 points of the possible 20 that were out there, which I think you have to be really, really happy with, right?
And then you could go on and win, close to 20 straight to end the season again.
Yeah, if you just get on an all-time heater.
You're getting difficult parts of your schedule out of the way, and then you go in a bit. And this team can do it. We've seen it before. Connor's hop on my back. Let's go.
Matt, you want to get in on this?
Not on this. Before I call Mike Tanier, this is just coming from me and Rappaport. The Carolina Panthers have fired coach Frank Wright. Sources say moving on before his first season is over. So the Panthers making a change at head coach.
Before his first season is over.
Correct. Special teams coordinator Chris Tabor is the interim coach and addressing the team as we speak.
Who's the interim head coach?
Chris Tabor?
Their special teams
coordinator?
Yeah.
So the special teams coordinator is addressing the team as we speak.
Because he's the interim.
Release Chuba Hubbard.
He's been the special teams coordinator in the NFL since 2011 in various teams. Prior to that,
only ever special teams?
I'm looking. He'd been a head coach in 2001 with Culver Stockton, this charter school. I think that's high school. Beyond that, he's been a wide receiver coach and assistant head coach at Utah State in 2002 to 2004. Running back special teams coach in 2005. Running back special teams 2006 to 2007 Western Michigan. Assistant special teams coach and then a special teams coordinator since 2011. He had a head coaching. He filled in for the Bears as a coach in 2021 and as an interim also and was 0-1. So a great record as the interim.
I mean, I know 1-10 is bad, But what were you expecting?
Is
You
that
were,
what they're
you were
supposed to be
god-awful
doing?
last year. You bring in Frank Reich, you give him 11 games, and you gas him. This is an unhealthy organization, I would think, right now.
They still have the Shield center field, hey? Don't they? Do they not? Isn't that still?
Is
their
that
thing?
what they're still?
That's still so it's
man,
not that. I mean,
wish
they're still
we had
props to the league, eh?
Panthers rap guy right now.
We need him. We need him.
That's somewhere in that vault of 32,000 songs. The Panthers rap guy. It's in there somewhere. But yeah, we will get into that. Panthers have fired head coach Frank Reich because if you can't win with that roster, what are you gonna win with? Let's bring in Mike Tanier. He joins us, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. They had a lot of great sales on the NFL jerseys in there on Saturday. That was nice. If you're looking for the NFL hats, they got you covered at Pro-Am Sports. Mike, good morning. How you doing, man?
I'm doing better than Frank Reich, that's for sure.
I think that sounds about right. Or Reich, I guess you could say in that situation. What were they expecting from him this year? To be a playoff team? I know 1-10 is really bad, but look at the roster, and it's really bad, you know? So, I don't know. Do you think there's more going on here than just a 1-10 start?
I got the impression that there was frustration around Reich's development of Bryce Young, that Reich never particularly embraced the idea that he was going to be working with an undersized scrambler and would have to build some kind of offense around a Bryce Young. Frank Reich is a guy who liked his Phillip Rivers. Yeah, he liked his Nick Foles. He liked a really tall guy who run the play action and the RPO and things like that. It looked like there was never any adjustment to Young. Now that said, what you said was absolutely correct. There is no talent on this roster. The talent they had on defense all got hurt. Everybody got hurt on defense. There were guys there that they've not had a full season from. J.C. Horn, Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, any of the guys you can name. And a lot of this really should fall on Scott Fitterer, the general manager, who made the trade to trade away the players to get the draft pick that became Bryce Young. And I think a little of this has to fall on David Tepper, who's been the owner for a few years there. They have been in a constant state of churn, general manager at head coaching level since Tepper arrived. This guy, he needs to prove, Tepper needs to prove that he's not one of those owners. Not one of those impetuous, emperor type owners who says off with his head when he's not happy.
Mike, could this be a play by the Panthers as well to kind of make space for one Bill Belichick to arrive somewhere in Carolina? I mean, I know we're kind of focusing on Reich this morning, but your thoughts again? How close is the minute hand to midnight for one Bill Belichick in Foxborough?
I think that will happen at the end of the season, perhaps. And then Bill Belichick goes on to his grand tour at that point, and he walks into the office in Charlotte and looks Tepper in the eye and says, "Hey, you better give me 5 years guaranteed because I saw what you did the last two coaches. And B, I'm not working with Fitterer." That's what Belichick says. So if you're going to make a play for him, you better say, Bill, here you come. If this is my GM that I'm rolling with, then I'm not going to be able to get you. And those are some of the compromises Tepper has to make. Because again, that's what I talk about. When you get that reputation as an owner, suddenly Bill Belichick isn't saying yes to you, and you have to go get the coordinator of the year.
Yeah. Mike Tanier with us from The Messenger. That's where you can find his work at themessenger.com. We got to go to the Sunday Nighter. Do you think the Chargers ever figure out that you need more than just throwing the ball at Keenan Allen a lot of times?
You would think so. And that part of the problem is all their other wide receivers were hurt. Mike Williams was hurt, and Josh Palmer has been hurt, and the other kid just drops the ball all the time. So you're going to Allen. It stops being an excuse when you're only scoring 10 points, when you're just not generating anything, and when this is year 2, year 3 of the same old problem. So when you talk about teams with a ticking time on of coaches, I thought I'd be waking up to Brandon Staley. And hey, it's West Coast time. Maybe after lunch I'll hear about Brandon Staley getting fired. But there's a lot wrong with that team. And just the fact is they just paid $200 million to Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is not clutch in the fourth quarter. Let's put it that way. And everyone around him is getting older, is getting expensive. And this is a team that's going to have to blow up a lot of things at the end of the season.
Bills and Eagles, just an incredible, entertaining game to watch yesterday. The Buffalo Bills did a lot of good things. in that football game, but allowing 17 points in the fourth quarter and Philadelphia to very easily drive the field in overtime kind of just puts an exclamation mark on what's wrong with the Bills right now, doesn't it?
It does. And, the Bills defense kind of looked gassed at the end of the game when they were shutting everything down at the beginning. And you also have to look at things like a missed field goal, a blocked field goal. You have to look at 11 penalties. You had a game where Josh Allen did play phenomenally well, but a lot of their third down conversions was Allen running for it, which means their passing game wasn't operating really at all cylinders when it had to, and that meant they left some points on the table along the way. But how about some credit for the Eagles? I keep hearing about, well, this was a close win and this was a comeback, and, look at that call could have gone the other way. Just beat the Cowboys, Chiefs, and Bills. What else do you have to do? I guess you have to beat the 49ers next week as well. But any questions about how many ways this team can find ways to get victories when Jalen Hurts, when the offensive line, when the passing game are operating at full throttle?
Mike Tanier with us from The Messenger. The Denver Broncos win again. They're on a little bit of a heater, 29-12 over the injury-riddled Browns. But what are you seeing in Denver that you might actually buy into right now?
Well, first of all, this is the point where we thought Sean Payton and Russell Wilson would at each other's throats, and they're not. Everybody's playing well. Everybody's working together. The defense that looked terrible at the beginning of the year has come around and now looks pretty good, and I trust that defense because it's full of guys I'm familiar with. It's full of guys like, Patrick Surtain and Justin Simmons, some of whom were banged up earlier in the year. So I believe in their defensive improvement. And here's one other thing. I was doing my analysis this morning. All 5 Broncos offensive linemen have been healthy for every game this year. You look around the league, you look at the Jets, you look at the Giants, you look at the Patriots, and they have quarterback problems and other problems. They're down to third-string linemen. The Broncos are out there with Garrett Bowles and Minertz and Cushenberry and McClinch and all the guys you've heard of out there, and that's making a difference as other teams are the ones starting to suffer those injuries.
Well, Mike, just sticking with the Broncos as well and just kind of the AFC playoff picture as it stands. I know Stroud v. Lawrence and Jaguars and Texans. Lawrence and the Jaguars coming up on top of that, but the Colts have won 3 in a row. It just seems like everybody's talking C.J. Stroud and what he's doing in Houston, but right now the Colts at 6-5. You got the Steelers still not going away 7-4. Broncos 6-5 now. Do you want to just kind of make sense or try to define right now the AFC and the NFL as it stands? Bills in the hunt.
It's going to come down to schedule and health. And you have some of these teams where down the stretch, I think the Colts schedule is pretty winnable. The Houston schedule, I believe, is pretty easy. The Steelers schedule is getting very easy. And then you look at health and you say, well, the Cincinnati Bengals, I saw Jake Browning. I think we're done with them. If you look at the Browns, and Myles Garrett got hurt yesterday, and Amari Cooper got hurt, and they can't afford to lose any more marquee guys because it's been smoke and mirrors. So that's the situation right now. So this is, and the Bills keep coughing up these games, and the Bills have a very brutal schedule. So it comes down to an opportunity for some of these other teams. I think it's going to be Denver sneaking in with a wild card. I think that Pittsburgh is going to sneak in for a wild card. And I don't really love the Colts right now because as good as they look, Houston looks better. And if you look at most of the Colts wins, it's they don't really beat anybody good, consistently play well against anybody good. They're beating up on teams like the Buccaneers. And I think they're the team that winds up, I don't know, 8-9. And I had a good little season, but just is out of the picture.
Jags and Texans, I know Lieutenant Eric mentioned here, those two guys going head-to-head. Trevor Lawrence, season high, passing yards. Getting his legs involved a little bit as well. C.J. Stroud basically did with C.J. Stroud. That was a game that kind of really lived up to the hype, didn't it?
It did, and both quarterbacks lived up to the hype. And I enjoyed Lawrence kind of reminding everybody, hey, I'm still here. I'm the young, rising superstar of the NFL and putting 30-yard passes on the hands of his receivers, et cetera. And Stroud had another really, really, really strong game. And when you look at Stroud's receivers, you look at his offensive line, you're like, yeah, this shouldn't be this good. It's really a testament to him. It's a testament to the coaching at DeMeco Ryans. I like the Texans. I think the Texans are going to wind up with one of those wild card berths, but you are starting to see there's just not enough bodies on defense. There's just not enough bodies on that offensive line. When the chips are down against a good opponent, Stroud cannot do it all himself, and he's going to fall to some of these stronger opponents.
Chicago Bears and Minnesota Vikings tonight. Let's set that up with Mike Tanier right now here, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. The Chicago Bears getting Justin Fields back here now. Obviously he was very good with his legs against the Detroit Lions. Vikings find themselves certainly still in the mix here. How important is between now and the end of the season for Justin Fields and what exactly is going to be the future of the Chicago Bears?
Well, it's the primary importance to Matt Eberflus. And Justin Fields has to continue what he did last week, which was score a bunch of touchdowns early and take a lead over the Lions and then watch the Lions come back on the defense. That happened earlier in the season in a couple of the games where Fields looked more like the guy that we would hope, the guy you think this can be a starting quarterback when you mix what he does with his legs with what he can do with his arm, given a couple of weapons. Fields needs to continue that because what could happen is Bears could lose more games. Bears defense is bad. They're looking at that coaching staff and all the firings and all the rumors and speculation there. Fields could be the guy who says, hey, I get one more year with the new coaching staff, or I'm the guy who, gets a trade offer from the Raiders. I'm the guy who gets a trade offer for some team who needs a quarterback. That's what he's fighting for. Fields is fighting to get off that scrap heap that a first-round pick can get on if he kind of goes sideways with his career. Fields can stay off of that and remain a viable starter if he keeps doing what he's been doing.
Who do you like tonight in this game?
I kind of think it's going to be close. I'm still leaning the Vikings. And the thing about it is the Vikings, with Joshua Dobbs, they're pretty much winning in for the playoffs. That's shocking for a team that I think they'll only be up to 7-5. You look at their conference record, their head-to-heads, they're going to have head-to-head tiebreakers on all the other wild card teams. So this is a kind of a big must-win game for them. They might get Justin Jefferson back probably in 2 weeks, but I'm not sure if it's officially out for tonight. I'm leaning the Vikings in this game.
As always, man, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for the time.
You got it. Take care and enjoy your week.
Yeah. We will enjoy our week, Mike Tanier. Yeah. We will. That brings us to our Monday Night Football Challenge. Once again, you can join Lieutenant Eric tonight, Century Casino, Fort Road, Sports Bar and Lounge for the Bears and the Vikings. I also think it's going to be a close game. We're going to get into this a little bit more on the Lock Shop today. Right now, the Bears are a 3-point underdog on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. There's no denying it. The Vikings have been the better of the two teams so far. Justin Fields looked pretty good at times against the Detroit Lions, but Lieutenant Eric,
keep
what
your
do you
clip.
got?
Keep your clip. Don't even.
You're on the Vikings.
It's got to be the Vikings here. It's no road dog tonight.
Damn.
But maybe you get a game out of this one. Hey, it's.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to Justin Fields. If the Bears are going to hang tight with the Vikings tonight, Justin Fields needs to have a terrific evening, which I think he is capable of. Maddie, you said you need him tonight, Justin Fields, in our Rusty Truck League, or what?
So I'm down 20.
And you have Fields left, and that's it?
I screwed up.
What do you mean you screwed up?
I played Cooper Kupp instead of Devonta Smith. Smith had 18 points, Kupp had 3. So that 15 points
that would have been huge.
I would have had, and then I wouldn't have needed much from Fields today.
Yeah.
But 21 points from Fields today, and I win.
That's possible.
A confession.
And
then
I
Monday
still,
possible. That's like a rushing touchdown and passing touchdown and 60 yards to the ground.
So I need that, and then I still have a shot at division. If I don't, I can't win the division.
If you don't win tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think you're out.
Am I? I won by 40 this week.
No, there's
it's close. There's a weird path, I think, for me to still get in there.
Well, because stunners, I think, are winning.
Yeah.
So it's you and more than a handful that are the bottom two.
Yeah, but I play stunners next week, and I think if I
beat them, you can take them out.
We have the same record. And then I don't know what is the tiebreaker.
I don't know. I don't know if it's head to head
I need the division
or
spot. I need that division spot, right? The second spot, or is it just the top 4?
You need to. No. You just need to be. It's division winner, and then it's the next 4. So you should be ahead of the 1.
I think I might be out, but I think I might have a chance if I beat the stunners.
I would love if you took out the stunners.
Depending on the tiebreaker. So
you're in the hunt.
I guess technically I'm still sort of in the hunt. And this is a team that started 1-6 or 1-7 or whatever. So
I would love if they get knocked out with as Justin Jefferson's about to start coming back.
Yeah, that would be big. Because he has Mahomes too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be a big win for me if I could pull that off next week. We'll see. Anyway, if you want to get in the mix here for a gift certificate to Century Casino, if you like the Bears plus 3 points tonight, text BEARS to 780-218-9999. If you like the Vikings minus the 3 points at home, text Vikings right now to 780-218-9999. What you should probably do is bet the over 3.5 field goals like we will be doing today on the Lock Shop.
Savage does it every Monday and Thursday, and probably Sunday at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where he rides the Lock Shop every Monday and Thursday game, and it's always the field goals.
Yeah,
We're always
bet
watching
unders too, man.
A tradition
Primetime
unlike
unders.
any other. Yeah,
that really works. If you would like to play kind of easy trivia right now for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, how good were the sirloin bites during the watch party on Friday.
I had as many sirloin bites as YouTube Trev had burgers.
Did somebody take all the food home, the leftover food? What did we do with that? Like,
I think actually we ate most of everything.
We crushed all the Popeyes
I think all the
wings.
burgers were gone.
Trev ate all the burgers.
I think those were all gone. There weren't many wings
there really
left.
couldn't have been much left.
Tommy took us a few of those.
Just the chips?
And how about Milton rolling in with the Ruffles?
Yeah, like 6 bags of chips.
High quality.
There's still some regular.
Okay.
And the dips in the fridge anyway, if anyone wants.
Oh, nice. That's a good idea.
It's good spread. And the Popeyes as well.
Nice.
Those pepper
those
wings
Popeyes new wings, man. Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio here. The new Popeyes wings. I mean, they got 5 new flavors. I tried them all. Loved them all. They were delicious.
All drums, right?
It's like
No
the breaded
flats,
wing,
yeah,
right? So it was, mwah. Get your hands on some Popeyes, the brand new wings that are out. 5 new flavors. And, we're not going to lie to you. They're absolutely delicious. All right. If you would like to play Kind of Easy Trivia right now for Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, all you have to do is text us at 780-218-9999 and let Maddie know that you would like to play Kind of Easy Trivia today. 780-218-9999. This can be I've been drinking a ton of water and tea today.
Yeah.
I got to take a leak. So I'm going to try to do that as quick as I can while you do the update and try to make it back.
Really?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think
you don't
I
think
can.
It's possible?
I think I can.
Please
help
make sure you just you don't skip steps.
No. Take a piss, wash my hands.
Also,
rush back.
Don't rush too fast through. Just.
No, I'm not going to get it on my pants or anything.
No, but the cording and the we could really do.
Oh, you know what? Oh, you think I'm going to trip up something here?
If you want to swing behind too.
No, I can get around the front. I'm getting this is the challenges of Nielsen Show Uninterrupted every morning.
Just go in that room over there.
Let's get to it. Yeah, we should have a piss bucket in the room over
here.
Who
needs a bucket? Just go. Yeah.
Right next to Whale and the Wolf. We'll just put it
Yeah. Did I just open up the door to Whale and the Wolf? Maddie, can you go to the wide shot? Were you here when we did this last week? I think we did this with YouTube Trev. We have Whale and the Wolf in the room there. And when you ever open the door, they start playing. They're just in there. All right, let's get to a sports update for United Sport and Cycle. If you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia, text us right now, 780-218-9999. Lieutenant Eric, let us know what's happening, buddy.
All right. The Edmonton Oilers. Back home, Rogers Place. Anaheim Ducks, the opponent. They go on to win 8-2. Pair of goals for one Zach Hyman. 5-point night from Connor McDavid. Oilers now 3 points back of Anaheim for 6th in the Pacific. Ducks have lost 6 straight. Oilers will welcome in the Golden Knights tomorrow night, looking to make it 3 wins in a row. Breaking news out of the NFL this morning. Insider Ian Rappaport reports the Carolina Panthers firing coach Frank Reich. Moving on before his first season is over, special teams coordinator Chris Tabor is the interim coach. Ravens reclaiming top spot last night in the AFC with a 20-10 win over the Chargers. Join me tonight for Monday Night Football as Week 12 will conclude at the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge when the Vikings host the Bears. Loaded burgers on special throughout the evening, $11.99. You can get whatever you want on them, as well as a free squareboard. NFL paraphernalia on the line with the squareboard as well. The Centric Casino Sports Bar Lounge at Centric Casino Fort Road, where every day is game day. And the Raptors drop one in Cleveland, 105-102 the Cavs. They're back on the court tomorrow in Brooklyn. 5 games around the NBA tonight. This sports update brought to you by United Sport and Cycle, your home of hockey for over 95 years.
Step closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger.
has this got an awesome voice? That is the house band of Edmonton Sports Talk, Whale and the Wolf.
You like that range right there, is it? That
Yeah,
range
and when he
right
goes,
there.
you better leave. Like, it's just, I love it. It's good. So that was pretty quick, right, boys? Wash the hands, everything.
Oh, perfect.
Didn't get any on me.
Spotless.
Made it right back.
Made it through here. No core, nothing.
Credit to Eric for also.
How long did you extend it?
He extended that.
Did
Like,
he?
I just made sure it was more of a relaxed
damn, I
read.
thought I
Usually
went
at 8
pretty
o'clock,
quick.
we're kind of, I light a cigarette.
I would
you
say that
kinda-
was about 2/3 pace.
Oh, good. But maybe we all need to slow down a little bit, eh? I think
Mondays.
I feel like I need to slow down sometimes, right? So
doesn't hurt.
yeah, no, that was. Avishman says Dusty out here speed running, taking a piss, pretty impressive. Hey, you got to find a way to make it work, right? You gotta find a way to make it work.
We do.
I think, yeah, I think
will
I think
and we
that's
do.
fair. I do think we find a way to make it work. Ryan Rishaug coming up in a little bit. Stick around for Shoggy.
Over under. When does he jump into the nasty chat?
Earlier than Tommy. Although Tommy was in last night, even to Nasty Chat in postgame.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in there. I started the postgame show last night. I said, Tommy couldn't join us. He's covered in deer piss somewhere as he finished up a Bozone Live. He's got 2 more of those. So, Matt, you have pregame on the next 2 others games. I'll have postgame on the next 2 others games. Should be a lot of fun. Who's on the hangout today, by the way? What do we got going on?
Today it's Tommy, myself, and Wolf Fraser.
Oh, my God. You're just telling us now that Phrase is going to be in
Fraser
today?
gonna be in.
Well, he should be in soon. Then you would think. For
Phrase will be in before Tommy. I can pretty much guarantee
stretching and
yeah.
that ass, man. Wow.
Phrase does
What a
have a
form,
great
what a
ass,
figure.
doesn't he?
Like, it's just.
Oh, it's unbelievable. All right, who's
It
going to
is.
play kind of easy trivia today, buddy?
La Bamba guy.
La Bamba Guy. That's it. That's the name. La Bamba Guy. All right. I think it's the first time he's played with us, at least here on Nielson Show 2.0. Let's bring in La Bamba Guy. La Bamba Guy, you ready to go? All right. I'll start the ticker. I have to read the first question, okay?
Yep.
All right. Good luck, man. Here we go. How many goals did the Oilers score last night?
8.
Name a goalie on the Ducks. Which Oiler had 5 points last night?
McDavid.
What position does Lamar Jackson play?
QB.
Which city is home to the NFL's Ravens?
Baltimore.
Boom.
No! No! My God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment. Totally. People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV. That's stupid. It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked? I'm stoked. Just stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, not today.
.808 on a Monday morning, and we got a winner. He's off to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. Sirloin bites. We will not deny you of the fact that these things are delicious. We had 3 orders of them for the watch party on Friday.
I licked the styrofoam boxes clean.
And I'm sure it's just like a regular sauce. I don't even know if it's like a secret sauce, but that sauce is bloody delicious.
I think it's probably like a regular sauce, like a dipping sauce, but they have a secret ingredient that
That's
just
probably what
puts
it's
it over
added.
the top. Yeah,
You know what it is?
it's always that.
Casualness. The secret
What was I
ingredient in Mr. Mike's is casualness.
Taking more time, right? Like they spend a lot of time on that sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. They got that brand new location out in Fort Sask as well. You know what? I almost made a mistake. Saturday, I almost went to West Edmonton Mall on Saturday. Well, you guys did you guys end up going to the mall?
Saturday
but I
night.
went like I tried to. I was gonna go in at like 1:30. I went to Pro-Am, Popeye Pro-Am, picked up some stuff. Kind of got into Christmas shopping mode. Stopped at another store. Did a little bit more.
Were you
Christmas
wearing your
shopping.
Santa hat? Were you in the mood? You were going around there.
So anyway, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just pop into Chapters Indigo, you know, so I'm pulling up to the mall, and the lineup into the mall was out onto the street, and that's when I was just like, not today. Especially when we can pop by like weekday afternoons.
Yeah, it's better to rent
There's
a
no
hotel
point.
across the street and then just
Yeah.
walk over for a
Yeah,
weekend.
Probably would have been
Yeah,
cheaper too. Yeah. So anyway, I almost made the major mistake. That would not have been. Good.
No, you got to go at night. That's
Yeah,
where
how
it's
was
at.
it at night? Yeah.
That was all right.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good time from what I remember.
Did you go to Hudson's?
It was a great night. Yeah.
Nice. Where else did you go?
Level 1?
Yeah.
Casino?
What's level 1?
West Edmonton Mall's best kept secret.
It really is.
It's kind of by the hotel.
Oh, that down around the corner?
It's
that
right by your
lounge?
bookstore.
Yeah, right next to the
I had a
chapters.
steak in there watching an Oilers game.
Great bathroom.
There's like no one there. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Good drinks, I guess.
Pretty comfortable.
It's one of the fancier places in the mall.
It is pretty
really.
fancy.
Went to casino. Went to BP's was closed. We couldn't get in there. So went to Five and Dive. Closed out at Hudson's.
Nice.
Power hour?
No, we were too late. We were too late for that power hour.
Weren't you there? Why are you asking?
I left.
He left.
Oh, okay.
He had bolted at
Why
one point.
are you
Well, they're
asking?
in the casino. I did 2 laps around. I'm like, I can't. I saw you guys all sitting at a table.
What'd you
And I was
hit?
like, I
What'd you
gotta
play? What were the tables? What'd you get?
We played roulette and then we played like Baccarat.
I never
We've never played it. It was really
Chad-
weird. She
Chad
was trying
got
to.
his,
Abigail
Chad
was
got
our
his.
person. She was trying to like teach us it. It was very easy to learn, but it was like we're like this.
Baccarat.
This can't be this simple. Like, what are we missing here?
I
And
like how she's teaching while you're giving. Like,
Chad
I'll,
had an okay day. Yeah. Ryan won. Ryan won like $20. I broke even.
The lead singer of Whale and Wolf?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Steven.
Oh, so the person in the nasty chat is the band on Spotify. How do you spell that? Whale and the Wolf on Spotify.
The word whale.
and the Wolf.
And the Wolf.
And then me and before we headed out, we were at Eric's place and
You watched the game, didn't you?
we watched Apple Cup.
Yeah.
Very
that
devastating
came down
game
to the
for
wire,
me. Very good game for Lucas.
Came right down to the wire. Yeah.
Very riveting.
Field
From a
goal,
neutral's
right?
point of view, it was fun to watch. These
Yeah,
two go
especially
at it.
those two, yeah.
Talk about a watch party.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, it sounds like that was a nice little Saturday night, boys.
Decent.
I was struggling through Barbie at the time.
Yeah.
God.
Trips to the
Yeah,
or
that-
fantasy
that's just,
trips to the bookstore and Barbie
yeah.
movies. Yeah.
All right, let's get into 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. Do you have a liner for the segment today?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, where Mitch Lewicki is on the short list for the Carolina Panthers HC job. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. But he probably won't go, much like the Lions offensive coordinator, who Mitch will say no, thank you, but no thank you to the call. He won't answer the call.
Appreciate the interest.
Yeah, but I will.
But,
I'm here at the
it's not gonna
dealership.
happen.
Things are good.
Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric, where I made the mistake of this morning putting out a poll. Are the Oilers back?
Uh-oh.
Your options are oh yes and oh no.
Can I guess?
Yes.
I haven't seen the results
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
I know many people are still thinking like they're not back to the Vegas thing, but people will be really excited.
Oh, we're really
Davis
hot.
got 9
Yeah,
points
yeah.
and 2.
8 goals.
I'm gonna say it's about 62% of fans say oh yes.
61.1 say oh yes.
Are you serious?
38.9 say oh no. So get in
Man,
there.
that was really close.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, that seems about right though. Right, 2/3 of fans are fired up after the 2 wins, and 1/3 is just like prove it to me against Vegas, and then see what's up. You run that poll Wednesday morning. If they beat Vegas, it's gonna be about 88, 89%.
It's why I love these polls.
Yeah.
Oilers good? Yes, no. I mean, it's like the wind, baby.
All right, let's get into questions here. Question number 1. Oh, we already kind of hit on this. Somebody's asking us how many points are the next 8 games, guys. I said they kind of you got to have 11. You got to at least go 5-2-1 on this next 8 games.
I'll say they get 9 then. I told you
9 is
record-wise.
like
I was
the bare minimum, you know.
Yeah.
Slightly better than 500.
I think that's kind of how I oversee this thing looking. Prove me wrong, Oilers, but
What say you? What would you be happy? What would make you happy out of it? Then don't say 16. I mean, that would be great if they were to run the table here, and that would make it 10 in a row, which is highly unlikely. But what would be good enough for you? 780-218-9999. 16 points up for grabs over the next 8 games. 7 of them at home. The 1 road game against an upstart Winnipeg Jets club this year. And the Jets are finding ways to win all different types of ways, although they came up 1 short yesterday. Question number 2. Guys, who's the front runner for NFL MVP right now? I think the front runner would have to be Jalen Hurts, wouldn't it?
he's leading the best team record-wise in the league. He's doing things. He's winning games. I mean, he's on his back. Yeah, I mean, I
think it.
They're 10-1. I mean, they've and as Mike said, I mean, they're knocking off good teams here, playing great football. If not him, then whom? I guess would be the question.
Yeah.
Like Mahomes is a guy you usually look to and glance to, and I think Russ is now up. Like, I mean, if you're going to look at numbers and stats personally, between the two, yeah, I guess it would have to be Jalen Hurts right now.
Justin of Balgoni says C.J. Stroud. Menopause Nick says Purdy is better.
This is most valuable, correct? MVP.
It's the
most
MVP.
Value.
It's not the MOP.
You
like
take
in
Stroud
CFL.
out of the Texans. What are they then? I guess there's an argument there.
I mean, you take the if you take a
everybody
good
out of-
quarterback out
I
of most
know.
teams, like you take Jalen Hurts away from the Eagles. Are they 10-1? No.
No, but
are they
real good
6-4
defense.
or 7-5? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts probably has to be your front runner
who
right
else,
now.
though, if we could make a case, hey? With Lamar?
Well, I think there's a legitimate case for C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
He's like second in the league in passing yards. The Texans were god-awful last year. They brought in him as well. There'll always be that non-quarterback case for a guy like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
When he's on,
Another good
they're
weekend.
obviously unbelievable. But I think C.J. Stroud is probably
Broncos have won 5 in a row
right now.
man. It's just like-
Dean says Stroud is the runaway rookie of the year. Oh, yeah. Nobody's going to argue with you on that one.
And the front runner is Tua, you heathens, comes in from Dolphin Nation this morning.
It got to be better than
Nice
it's like
to
me
see you
saying,
again.
what about Jared
Well,
Goff?
hey,
He's
it's-
got over
yeah.
3,000 passing yards already. Now, with that being said, Tua is fourth in the league in passing yards. He's got a receiver that's first in the league in receiving. He's got a running back that has the most touchdowns so far. Let's see, yards per game, passing yards per game. C.J. Stroud. Kirk Cousins. Man, he was having a nice season, wasn't he? And then there's Tua. Touchdown passes. Josh, Dak, Tua, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson right there as well. Jalen Hurts, 10th in the league in passing touchdowns. But he's also second in the league in rushing touchdowns. Now, a lot of them are the old tush push that pisses everybody off, but still. Big Maple says, it hurts because I'm heavily invested. Makes sense, doesn't it? All right, question number 3. This is a big one, and I'll say could end up being pretty awkward with who's here today. But do you guys have a short list for the next commissioner of Edmonton Sports Talk Drafts?
Well, I said awkward. It's not awkward. I've resigned.
You resigned,
need to
but
replace.
I still feel like you want to
need
be
to
commish.
replace. I don't. I'm
I
good.
think you
I
do.
moved on.
I
You
think you
keep
do.
trying to get me in. You keep trying to find a way. I'm not accepting resignations. I'm good.
But it's so fun.
Good luck.
Why would you not want to be a part of it, you know?
Good luck, and let's
on.
figure out who's on the short list.
I'm really for this. How much can you butter him up to take the job back?
You're still going to host, right? That's your role on the Hangout. You got to be the host of the draft.
Maybe Gazzola's now the.
No,
Could
Gazzola's
you
not
imagine?
commish.
Well, his record isn't something to. Maybe
I
he
do.
takes
If
himself and
Gazzola
moves
was
into
to lose again,
the
we might have
commissioner's
to
chair.
kick him out and make
right?
him.
Isn't that it?
Yeah. I wonder what Tommy would think if he comes in. I go, hey, Tommy, you're commissioner now. Maddie's taking your spot in the draft.
Man, that chaos. We'd fold the league.
But still, you can't start, not just 0-2, but both fourth place finishes.
He did gain votes from the first.
From
one.
the first time. Yeah, well, I don't know. As for a short list for the next commish, I do like the idea of Matt's brother, also an Emma Wannick. What about your brother? Would he have any interest in becoming commish?
I don't think so.
No?
He might for a draft. He is on a parental leave until the summer. You could probably squeeze
He
a
could
good,
do, the Christmas
a good handful
draft,
of drafts out of it. Maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
you can add him
that
on the
wouldn't be
list.
too bad.
I'd put Wannick back on that short list as well.
Yeah, let's put
I think
Matty
you
on
don't
the
know.
short
I think
list.
it's a
Let's put
betting. It's a
Matty.
betting a while. It's a bit of a dog right now, but it's something. You see his name.
He's like plus 400.
I'd put a sprinkle on that one, right? Because
He's
as
plus
I'm saying,
400.
if you continue your Christmas season buttering up here, who knows? I mean, over the holidays, you could have given such gifts. He's back to being commissioned with a smile on his face come Jan 1.
I love the idea of Maddie being on her short list for next
Great,
commish.
but near the bottom, plus whatever, and it's just like,
Here's two that jump off the page. One would be Phrase. Although somebody said we might just get into more heat. Phrase was very much a stickler back in the day, too.
He's all for chaos. He'd be a chaos agent. In fact, that would be probably the worst decision we make ever on
You think
this.
that? You think he would end up being worse than the?
And you know what? Phrase would probably agree. But how about this one? Got Your Back podcast on the Nasty Chat. Civilian Rishaug could be convinced. ... Perhaps.
Wait, Rishaug just nominated his alter ego
speaking
to
in
be
the- yeah,
commish of the draft?
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, that would be quite something.
There's one for you.
That would be quite something. The other one that popped up on Friday almost right away, and she would be great, Quinn Phillips.
She'd take no crap.
I think Quinn would I think she'd be. All we want is somebody who will be open to conversations about draft categories and stuff, and then execute a smooth draft, which Matty did very well for a long, long time until he completely fell off the rails. Still found himself on the short list, though, for the next commish.
That's always got to.
So we do have options. Phrase, Quinn. I mean, my ex-brother-in-law Troy's here for every draft. If I trusted him on a mic, we could put Troy in as commish. But yeah, Phrase has been here. He's witnessed the draft, right? He was here for the first draft, and he seemed to really enjoy himself.
Yeah, but I think
he
again,
can take it for a test run.
When he's off mic and behind the scenes, he likes to kind of. But you put him on that. Maybe the idea though of a podium might, like now that we have that podium, that commission's podium, that's
we'd
power.
have to get like a little stand for the podium. For Phrase, I mean, maybe. Okay, so anyway, there's the short list. Our short list for the next draft commissioner is Quinn Phillips, Will Fraser, Matthew Owanek. In the ultimate twist, where it's like a heel turn to the point that he comes back and he's even more stringent than before.
I'm just saying, it's the holiday season. You know, it's time for coming together. You know,
he did tell us, if you were watching the draft,
Yule log.
He told us during the watch party that you were going to be penalized for tweeting out conversations.
Yes,
and it was just going to be a pick in a future draft.
A pick in a future draft, which I don't.
This is a kind of a reasonable expectation for a punishment. Now, would it have been, Matt? Would it have been like a first or second rounder, or would it have been like
it was going to be a second round pick?
Oh wow!
Okay,
a second round pick due to leaked internal documents.
So leaked internal documents. I love it.
The leaked documents are leaked. Like there are things that probably shouldn't be released.
No, I get it. I had to do it.
So that one is.
You did that live on the air.
I fell on the sword for the listener.
The reason there wasn't a penalty handed prior was that I know.
That's why I really thought maybe you would.
No, because I knew that Eric wasn't big on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And they looked at, there was a play for justice for LTE that he was playing for there.
Oh.
So he was going to have to deal with that draft as is, and a penalty was going to come in a future
You're really
draft.
a big-time justice for LTE guy.
That's what,
I
mean, it's, look,
that's what was going to happen. Yeah. And but in the end, there is no penalty. Yeah. Because before that penalty could be handed out or anything, I resigned, and I will not be there for the next draft.
I guess new commissioner could come in and like follow up on your penalty if they want.
I didn't let. They'd have to give that penalty.
Yeah.
I didn't give the penalty.
You can't retroactive to. Like, what are we talking about here, guys? What I find funny, though, would be the third straight draft in which I do have a pick that's voided or not picked.
You know who would be a good commissioner, but I would punch him in the face? My dad. My dad would be a great commissioner. Obviously, he doesn't live here, so he couldn't do it.
You two yelling at each other?
I think you guys would really like him as commissioner.
Every pick?
But I'm not lying. I would probably fist fight him. Because we can't even play video games together, or we can't play board games together as a family anymore because he's such a stickler for we can't do it. We used to play board games all the time as a family. We haven't played in about 5 or 6 years just because it ends in
because of your dad
massive brawl.
Yeah.
I can't play poker with him. I can't do anything.
Maybe just follow the rules, and this wouldn't be an issue.
No, but he's like...
If he's a stickler for the rules, he's just
following
following the rules.
So
maybe there's a common denominator here in all this, and that's you.
I'm a lot like him, actually. I was going to say, whenever we play games with him, he gets very smug, and I want to slap his face. But that's why my wife doesn't like the way I draft, actually. So maybe that wouldn't work. Anyway, if you have any suggestions, let us know. We are going to do some sort. If you have any ideas for a Christmas draft. Now, where do you guys come out on recycling drafts of the past from the old place? Because we did like an overall Christmas draft, which was really fun. Then we did the Christmas movie draft. Matt, do you have any
I don't come out on anything because I'm not part of it.
Well, but you can have an opinion as just
even now. More so now.
No, it's one of those things.
You're a civilian.
Now I need to decompress and cut away.
Decompress? You had all weekend.
Focus on my future.
Focus on my future.
Maybe I could replace Randy Ambrosie as the commissioner of the CFL.
I mean, I think it would probably be a little bit of a longer shot than being reinstated by us. But at the same time,
it's worth a shot.
I could wear a scarf.
Randy's had a good run. He's had a good run. You finally get that fantasy taken to the next level.
Somebody wants Taylor Galvin for next
Taylor
commission.
Galvin.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long, long
I haven't
time.
heard that name in a
Pauline
long
Higgins'
time.
names pops up at the Paris Juniors
inbox. Pauline lived in town.
She would
that
hop
would
all
be
over.
great.
She'd probably even still drive up for each and every.
Yeah.
And Surveyor Brett nominating himself this morning in the Nasty Chad vote. Surveyor Brett for commish.
Ken Morrison would be great too, but that'd be a pretty tight turnaround.
Ken's
Isn't he
official,
on
yeah.
CTV Morning Live until like 9.
Savage Throat Renee.
Oh, Renee from the
Century Casino.
Century Casino. You know, if you were still going to host, then Kent could be here by 9:30 to commish. Anyway, if you have any ideas for a Christmas draft, let us know.
I think I have to host because it is my job.
It's your job. It's your show,
It's
right?
one of those things I can't bail on that fully.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Which is a shame.
But,
He doesn't even want to host the draft.
Well, I don't think people want me around the draft right now. So.
Well, you provide some good drama, Maddie. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, if you have an idea for a Christmas draft, in the past we did a toy draft. Actually, Rishaug was in the toy draft. Remember? What was that one pick that he absolutely thought he just killed it with? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He had a couple picks in the toy draft where I was just like, oh, Shaggy, you're not helping
Was
yourself.
it Slinky or no? I think that was Tide. The Slinky. Somebody took the.
No, Tide took Slinky Dog
Slinky
in the dog draft.
Yeah. Yo-yo.
Yo-yo.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yo-yo.
Was that Rishaug? Yeah, Rishaug.
He's in it.
Says it was the yo-yo.
Hasn't forgotten that one.
All right. Well, here, let me get the music ready. Let's play this man's music. We got a Monday morning got your back mandate with Shaggy here.
Timberlake rocks.
Is that a mandate of yours?
God, what are we talking about here? Good question. Can some of it be about sports? Yeah. All he needs to do is just get in front of people and state his case. If they had the mandate from the people, blah, 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 I don't know where that information came from, but I would question it.
Time for the morning mandate with Ryan Rishaug.
This is what sports broadcasting is all about.
You know what? That may be a good point, Ryan.
You broke the story, Ryan.
Rishaug is one giant 6'2" pile of Charmin.
Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it? Got your back Monday morning mandate. Visit them at gybpod.com/YEG. Find the Got Your Back podcast on all podcasting platforms. Shaggy, you remember when you took Yo-Yo in that toy draft?
That was the most underrated pick because it was in a specific category too, and I can't remember which category it was. But you know what? And the reason I've only done one of these drafts, I think that was next level, and it wasn't recognized, and I was pretty put off by the whole thing, and I haven't come back yet. Never mind that I haven't been invited back, but the feeling's mutual.
Buddy, you can come back to a draft anytime you want. Were you only in one? I thought you were in a second one.
I think I got it here.
What was the other?
I feel like I just did the one. I can't remember, but I mean, I definitely didn't get the credit I deserve for Yo-Yo, and then there were a couple of other really good ones I had too. And the winner, I just remember looking at the winning list and going, I don't know if I can be part of this moving forward.
But Civilian Rishaug might be interested in the commissioner's job. Interesting. Interesting.
Potentially. Could be. By the way, what's going on with Matawanek?
Wow,
I heard him talking recently to Gazzola about how he's not going to work mornings anymore. And then I come on here and I hear that he's no longer Matty, we got job openings over at Rev Media. How's your
wow.
I mean, you're a talented guy. You've got lots of skills. I feel like you're maybe a little alienated, and there's lots of space in the Got Your Back family for quality people. So is that offside of me, Dusty, to scalp your talent on air?
It's probably slightly offside, but I'm going to see how it plays out here. You know?
One of the things I am trying to do is do less work, so that doesn't.
Right.
I'm not. It's not like they're taking me away from things. I'm just trying to do less without
You're
them
trying
realizing
to do
this.
less.
Yeah.
That sounds like exactly what we're looking for employees over at Rev Media. So
come do less.
Submit your resume. Send your CV over, buddy.
Oh, God, man, that would suck. I don't know who would run the technical side of this thing if we lost the Monica
just
right
a way
now.
way to crater the competition. Maddie, whatever they're giving you, I'll give you another 20%.
We're gonna have to teach Tommy how to use his laptop properly. This is gonna be tough. Ryan Rishaug with us. Hey, I see you guys. You doing another on location?
Yeah, actually, we're gonna be at Long Shots on Thursday after the game, post game. Struddy and I, so we'll be out there. And then dropped another podcast last night. It's gonna be a fun week, man. This Vegas game is kind of like Oiler fan is waiting for this Vegas game, so that'll be good for all of our shows and podcasts and such.
Yeah, I think it should be, especially with the way they're playing right now. I mean, let's just kind of take back a look over the last two games. They go into Washington, shut out the Caps, a Caps team that had been pretty stingy. They found a way to get some offense against them and then, locked things down a little bit. And then last night, the Ducks have been struggling, but it was nice to see that momentum out of that Washington game carry over last night, wasn't it? I think that was big for that team.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing that was notable for me last night, guys, was for the first time this year, the Oilers bailed their goalie out. And that's normal. That's supposed to happen sometimes, right? So Stuart Skinner did not have it last night. It was brutal in the early going. Like, he was bobbling pucks, got beat with a couple.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. And the Oilers counterpunched right away. They did that like a confident offensive team. And they bought their goalie time to find his game. And that's rare this year. That's really rare. And to Skinner's credit, he did. He shook it off, and then he was decent the rest of the way. So I think, notable that they were able to do that for him. And I agree. It's been a couple of pretty good performances. That third period 2 games ago, I think, sparked things for them. And it's coming around here, guys. It's coming around. Like, the special teams are coming around. This team's penalty kill under Mark Stewart, this team's penalty kill has been fantastic. I think it's around 90%. They were 3 for 3 again. And I think I got it here somewhere. Over the last 3 games, are they 13 for 13 in their last 3 games and 90% since the change? And that's big for this group.
So winning a special teams battle on both sides of it goes a long way, I guess, is what we're saying.
Apparently it does.
Yeah.
Apparently it can help.
So was McDavid just due for a couple of games like this? Did he miraculously get a little bit healthier over the last couple of games? Or did he just say, okay, enough's enough? I mean, is the fact that maybe he's playing with Nuge and Hyman right now that's led to maybe a little bit more of a boost? What do you think, Shoggy? What's going on here right now?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of things. I think first and foremost, I think he's getting healthier. I think he's been playing through something through most of the season, and I think he's starting to come through it. You can see it in his top speed, and you can see some of the mobility is coming back. And so the way he's wheeling and dealing around the offensive zone looks like previous seasons. But the other thing is, guys, I think it was a smart line tweak. Chris Knobloch was leaving them together, trying to let them find their way out together. Jay Woodcroft often did that too. And then he just decided, nope, it's not going to work here. So 2 things. He split up Kane and Hyman, which I think had to happen. And the line that he put together here with McDavid and Hyman and Nugent Hopkins has been really, really strong. So nice tweak by the head coach. And I think McDavid's getting a little bit healthier here, Eric.
Well, are you seeing anything else? I know, Skinner, you mentioned, and I mentioned it as well. I mean, a shaky start. It seemed like those goals were, it was a little weird. But McDavid, how hurt was he? Was he hurt at all? Regardless of any of that, is it all just him, again, finding his game, whether it's through getting healthy, whether it's just a mental side of things? Because, again, we talk power play. He's part of that. Everything that he seems to do, a 5-point night can really kind of gloss over a lot of other issues, which, I don't know. I go back to that following the Knobloch appointment, right? And you got the overtime win against Seattle. You got the win against the Islanders. And, okay, it's on. And I kind of feel it's the same type of energy. Then they go out east. We said, well, that's the test. Well, they go out and a couple 2-goal leads here or there. Rework it, 5-0, shutout, great vibes Friday. You come back home, Ducks Sunday. But, again, I'm looking at the opposition. I'm kind of saying, well, parade plan doesn't need to start yet. Vegas, big test tomorrow. What do you see over these last 2 games, I guess, that wasn't there over those previous 3 or previous 2? Is it, again, is it just McDavid playing the way McDavid plays and everything else kind of follows in suit?
I think it's more than that. I think that McDavid finding his game is massive. And maybe bigger than anything else that could have turned for the team. Draisaitl has come around a lot too. But remember before, guys, we were talking a lot about, with their offense struggling, what is the Oilers' identity? What's their core game? Like, if your power play is struggling and your offensive guys are kind of off, what basic game can you lean on to get you through the tough times? And the answer for the Oilers this year is they didn't have one. There was no core value that this team illustrated night in, night out that they could lean on in tough times. And what we've seen the last few games is they've got a core value to fall back on. They've been keeping it simple. They've been getting pucks in. They've been establishing a forecheck. It's led to offensive zone time, and they have been simplifying their game. I really think that one principle right there, simplifying and just throwing pucks in and going and getting it back, it's created a bit of a workhorse mentality, and it allows you to roll the lines. Everybody does it. Same philosophy, shift after shift. And I think that's made a big difference. They're starting to show signs of having a core game that they can lean on. And this team desperately needed that.
What are you seeing from Darnell Nurse's game lately? Last night he was absolutely terrific. You've watched every game he's basically played as an Edmonton Oiler. I'm not sure there's been many better passes than the one he fed up the middle of the ice to Nuge last night. Are you seeing, is this a confidence thing in his game right now, or what are you seeing in Nurse's game?
Yeah, I mean, he's stepping up, right? He's as competitive a guy as there is in that locker room. And, you know, Darnell Nurse feels this as much as anybody, I think, right? Like that guy cares a tremendous amount. And I think he gets it. He gets his deal. He gets the salary cap. He gets expectations. He gets all of this. And he cares a tremendous amount. And often when he's off his game, it's because he's trying to do too much. Well, he's picking his spots a little better now. He's taking care of business shift to shift in a more simple way. But then as we saw last night, he's picking his spots and asserting himself because he actually is a pretty good passer. And it's not just all about grabbing the puck and skating up ice super fast for Darnell Nurse. He actually distributes the puck fairly well. So I think he's settled his game down. He's simplified. He's avoiding the big mistake, and a lot of them are. And it's, I think, allowing him to pick his spots a little bit. So Darnell Nurse's game turning the right way is also a huge break for them. He is athletic and skilled in a way not many guys are that play that position. He just needs to not do too much, guys. And he started to just settle it down, and now some of those moments are really shining through. How good was it that he was the one that got slew-footed and then ended up making the really nice play on the power play? Right? Great to see that second unit get some time and not just get some courtesy time because of the score, but to go out there and frickin' bury one. That's good for them.
Yeah, and they've done that a few times this year when given the opportunity, right? So that makes a little bit of a difference for this team. Usually they don't see much ice time, and when you get a little bit of it, if you can take advantage of it, it'll certainly go a long way, and maybe getting a little bit more here at some point. We've had a bunch of people both last night and then again today in the inbox or wherever asking about them going up against the Golden Knights here and Alex Pietrangelo and everything last year in the playoffs, and will there be retribution? Shaggy, do you expect any of that tomorrow?
I don't think so. I mean, I think if Alex Pietrangelo throws a big hit or something, or if Alex Pietrangelo puts himself in the middle of it, I think that players that were here last year will recognize and, maybe he'll get challenged or something like that. But I think that the Oilers are heading into tomorrow night's game feeling like there's a score that needs to be settled with Alex Pietrangelo? No, I don't think so. And I understand why Oiler fans do. It was a tough play for sure, frustrating play for Oiler fans. But if the Oilers play a good, solid, hard game tomorrow night and throw a few good checks on Alex Pietrangelo and nobody steps to him and forces him to try and drop his gloves, I'm not going to say it's a team that doesn't take care of its business. I don't view that as business that needs to get taken care of. It was the playoffs. It was a long time ago. They got other things to worry about right now. So I would say no. Sorry if that's disappointing for people, but what do you guys think?
Well, I, of course, want a line brawl right off puck drop.
Yeah,
but,
more chaos.
Yeah, what do you think?
There. Well, Oilers, Vegas, Jets Thursday, Ryan. I was just wondering your thoughts as well in the next 6 after that, all at home. Hurricanes, Wild, Devils, Blackhawks, Lightning, Panthers. We had Dreger on earlier this morning talking about like a 10-game chunk. What do you kind of foresee, gazing in your crystal ball, just how this team has played of recent? Where do you see this thing coming out after the 8?
Well, it's part of what we discussed last night on the podcast too. Like, is this what this team needs right now? This is a prolonged stretch of time at home.
Yeah.
More than anything, this is these guys being, deeply into this at home for weeks on end. And I think in some cases that can be a really good thing for a team. In other cases, we always talk about, a team needs to get out on the road. And I think this will go one of two ways, guys. If they're winning games, I think this will be a great stretch for them. If they fall back into the muck, and remember, the last time they won 3 in a row, what did they do? Completely dropped the ball, and they dropped the next 3. If they fall back into the muck, there's nowhere to hide. You're right in it, right in this town, that ferocity, the fan intensity, and they'll just be sitting in it. Now it's up to them to dig themselves out. So, I look at the competition, like there's some decent teams here, but there's certainly some winnable games here. I think the team is well poised right now to take on Vegas. If they beat Vegas, if they're able to do that
goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does to tip this stretch at home. So the answer really is, if they're winning games, this is going to be a blessing for them, some rest, some much needed time at home with families and all that stuff. If it goes the wrong way, they're in the shit and they're stuck in it and there's nowhere to go.
Well, it's funny with Vegas too right now because they've been shut out in 3 of their last 6 games. So, and they're 14-5-2. Like, they've had a phenomenal start to the year, but they've got 2 goals in their last 3 games. One of them was an overtime winner against Dallas. So they're not playing great right now. which also means they'll probably be very focused and not coming in fat and happy in this game either. So that Tuesday night tilt is going to be absolutely. Incredible.
By the way, we had Bruce Cassidy on our podcast last week. Pierre LeBrun and I, our Got Your Back NHL pod, and he had a couple of just comments. I'm not stoking the flames or anything, but he had a couple comments about the Oilers. He commented on Jay Woodcroft getting let go, commented on how they were the favorites heading into the series last year, but like Edmonton was, but Cassidy and his group didn't necessarily think so. He also commented on his group wanted to get out to a fast start this year so that he said that teams that fight the standings early, it can be really hard on them. Really hard on, and he pointed to Edmonton. Edmonton's going through that right now. That's why we really wanted to get off to a quick start. So they pay close attention to what's going on at Edmonton for sure, and this is going to be fascinating to see how the Oilers manage this team.
Should be good. Shoggy, as always, buddy, man. Good catching up. Thanks a lot for popping by.
Yep, sounds good. Great to talk to you guys. Maddie, call me.
Oh, my God.
Call
Get
me.
out of here. Hang up on this guy.
I'll even buy lunch.
Hang up on this guy right now. My God. Unbelievable. Ryan Rishaug trying to steal Matthew Iwanek live on the show. This is ridiculous. Now, on Friday, I would have said he can have him after the draft. But
thoughts, Maddie?
Obviously, cooler heads have prevailed, and Iwanek is already considering becoming commish again of the Nielson Show drafts after we put him on the short list.
Nope.
To replace himself.
Nope.
No, not yet.
It's not happening.
Fraze, you're on the short list to be the next commish too. What do you think? No. Fraze said no. Damn. It looks like it's going to have to be Quinn Phillips then. Somebody text Quinn. Tell her she's been anointed commissioner of the Nielsen Show drafts. We'll have a Christmas draft, and then I want to do that draft of captains here at some point too.
Captain
TV
draft?
captains and like sports captains.
Jersey draft we also discussed Friday, I do believe.
I want to do that kid draft too.
Yeah, you want to draft kids.
Yeah,
children.
Draft of kids from television or movies.
It's just a weird.
How high does Bart Simpson go? That's a first round talent right there.
What is a kid though?
First round is Bart, Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. Yeah, Macaulay Culkin. Chunk from Goonies. At least I'd take him in the first round. I love that kid. But there's a lot of good kids that you could draft too.
Will Smith was a kid. Then he grew up to be a man on Fresh Prince.
Yeah, no, I think the kid thing would have to be like we'd have to confirm that they were. Maddie, what do you think about this? As a former commish, put your hat on here.
I got nothing to say.
I think you probably got a little opinion. on this.
No, I'm nice. I'm thinking about where we're gonna have our junior AGM. You know, that's where my head is. I'm commish of only one thing now, and that's all that matters.
Anyway, I think we'd have to go you'd have to be not a teenager. Hey, below a teenager.
But what's that? Is it so it's a teen, so 12?
12 or
13.
Younger? 12 or younger?
Yeah, so
maybe.
That's your cutoff?
I don't know. How do we confirm the ages of all these kids, you know?
I mean, some people are still kids. Is it an age thing?
Well, you're still the host.
You could argue.
You're a real host of this. You have to
I just have to host it then. I just have to throw questions each way, and that's it. That's all I have to do. I could prep the day before that.
Take Commissioner Matt first overall.
Is Quinn watching today? Did she get in? Somebody else just said Quinn is in. But
I haven't seen her.
She's usually lurking around there. Would you deal Maddie straight up for Struddy?
Oh, you should.
Oh, I don't think we could. I don't think Struddy can technically do what
No, he can't do anything technically.
No.
We have Jason Strudwick around. You guys could learn it.
Here's an idea. What would we
You've
have?
got YouTube Trev. You got ways to learn it. You absolutely trade me for Struddy.
No. I think we add to Tommy to get Struddy.
A sweetener.
We sweeten him. They can have the fifth office here. They get the fifth office and Tommy for Struddy. But then Struddy has to host pre and post and stuff and be on the hangout every day. That's a lot for Struddy.
That's why you need
Probably
Tommy.
couldn't do it,
yeah. Struddy's a lot.
We should just try to steal Struddy from Rishaug. That's what we should do. The ultimate one up. He jokes about taking you, and we go get Struddy. Surprise!
And LeBron.
And LeBron.
Throw him in.
Take them both.
That's the sweetener.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Sebastian says Dennis the Menace. Yeah, Dennis the Menace would be. Bart is not human. You can't draft him. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter. We can set whatever rules we want now. It's a wild west.
Again, what is a kid? Define a kid.
You're not going to take Bam Bam and Pebbles from the Flintstones.
Some of us never grow up, Dusty. Hey, how's that?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's
That's
blurred
the most
lines all
important
over
thing
the
in
place
life.
here in this draft.
You get stuck in that age 18 and never grow up.
Yeah.
Just look, as long as you work hard, you don't really have to be super mature.
No, young at heart, young at life. Isn't that how the saying goes?
I think so. Got Your Back says, Maddie, the benefits are great over here. Dynamite back care program. Right? Yeah, but Maddie right now works above a Russian spa. Like,
it's pretty sweet.
Get a deal down there for sure. Seductions. I got Maddie a 2-year membership at Seductions.
2 spas.
Yeah. He's a VIP over there now. It's going to be tough
you
to
don't
top
need the
that,
hockey
Shaggy.
package, right?
It's going to be tough to top that. Ooh, Peter Pan. Right? Peter Pan was a kid.
Was he?
Could never grow up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's...
Yeah.
Pinocchio? Was Pinocchio a boy?
Was I don't want
He's a
to draft
boy.
that
A
one,
real
right?
boy. Oh.
Yeah. Woo, I'm a real boy. Can't draft him, though.
Well, he's a real boy.
Well,
He
you
said
could
it
draft
himself.
him, but I don't like him. I want to keep coming up with ridiculous suggestions for drafts until Maddie gets to the point where he's like, damn it, I'm back in.
He'll have to interject with a ruling here sooner or later.
The moment you interject in any of our draft things moving forward, Maddie, you're back in.
What about Homer
That's how it
Simpson?
works.
He thinks like a kid. Hey, sometimes he's not actually a kid. No, you can't pick Homer.
Well, we need to set the Christmas draft so it's so ridiculous that while Maddie's doing the host and pre-draft show, it just rattles you to the point where you're like, I have to come back in and fix this stuff.
I have to fix it. Yeah, I have to fix
There's
it.
no
Yeah,
there's no categories. There's nothing.
I don't think you understand the sense of how I could just cut away and how I could just sit back and relax and I could set things aside when I need to. This is what you've created. This is on you guys.
This is like when you quit doing hot takes because you lost to Chichkowski.
I deserve that
in
win.
the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, because the judge, Nerman, said afterwards that she rattled and should have voted for me. I should have took down Titch in the first round of that.
I feel like you probably intimidated her into saying that, though.
No, I didn't talk to her.
Well, how'd you know that she said that?
She tweeted it or something.
Oh.
Will you join us for a draft? Will you take part in a draft?
I've done it before.
No, I know, but post-resignation.
I like the idea of you being a real prick to the
Yeah,
next commit.
a renegade,
Because you
yeah,
secretly still want the gig.
It's too soon. It's too soon.
soon.
Again,
I
I need to
apologize for
be
asking
away
the
from
question.
the EST draft. I just need my time away. Now, obviously, I might have to host. The rules and responsibilities of being part of Edmonton Sports Talk. But beyond that, I just want to cut away.
Cartman.
South, hey, for
Fireman Trev says Cartman. Hey, you guys.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
child.
that'd
they're
be
all,
good.
they're
Yeah,
all.
he'd be a child. But so there's other people suggesting like Matthew McConaughey and Days. No, those guys are teenagers. What we will do is do a high school draft at some point. And then I can finally take Marty McFly first overall.
High school draft.
That'd be great. A high school draft would be a fun one. I think that'd be good.
Build a high school?
The rookie's in it says draft idea: famous people's moles. Cindy Crawford, first overall.
Here's a quarter. Go downtown and get a rat to gnaw that thing off your face, right, Uncle Buck? Hey, that's got to be first
Buck.
overall.
That's right. Go downtown and gnaw that thing off your face. All right, that's good. Sorry, things kind of got off the rails here. Just a little bit. But if you have any suggestions, hit us up, 780-218-9999. You can join Lieutenant Eric tonight. He will be at Century Casino out on Fort Road for the Monday Nighter between the Bears and the Vikings. And who knows, maybe did Fergie, when Fergie rolled into Boston Pizza last week, did he bring his backgammon set?
Yes.
Fergie, I'll tell you right now, if you roll into Alley Cat for our beer launch on Wednesday, don't bring the backgammon set. Right? There's going to be a bunch of people there. We're going to be trying this new beer. I don't think there's any room at Alley Cat.
There's a couple.
To
You were looking at those board games.
They got board games.
Well, we're
Or
at the mall this weekend.
That's
You're
right,
looking
too.
to maybe get one of your own.
Sometimes it's nice. Alley Cat has a few seats in their drinking lounge.
Yeah, there's a
shall
few
we say,
tables.
the bar.
Maybe a standard
If you want to have a
thing, like-
break, you're kind of doing the thing. Yeah, you know what? Let's have a quick old back nine, a backgammon there. You're just scared of getting gammoned by the master. Is that what it is?
I've never played. I don't
He
understand.
gammoned me once.
It's like you get, yeah. So does that mean getting skunked like in Crib?
It was pretty big. Yeah, it was a big time. I think you get backgammoned, which I haven't. But
And how about this Baccarat that you played? What's that about, Matty? Is it a card game or what? Dice game?
Yeah, it's a card game, and it's basically who's closest to 9, and you bet player or banker, and that's it.
Why is it called Baccarat? Why isn't it called Nines?
I don't know. Why is it called cribbage?
Yeah, that's a good.
It's a great question.
Backgammon.
I don't know why
Whole
anything.
bit.
Now we're really going into deep conversation.
why
Why
is-
is anything
yeah.
called anything?
That's true.
Why
Why
did we
is
decide?
poker called poker?
Why was milk decided to be milk?
Bad things happen.
Why didn't we
to good
call it
people.
something else? Like,
Yeah, whoever got to come up with all the first names for everything? That would have been pretty cool.
Nikki from Fresh Prince. There's a
No,
kid
we're
for
not
you.
drafting Nicky from Fresh
What are you
Prince.
talking about? He's a kid.
Nicky
He's
from Fresh Prince was
capital
annoying
KID.
as
He was a
hell.
kid.
Undrafted until Tommy gets him in the 4-5 swing. Imagine taking Jimmy Fallon in the first round of a Saturday Night Live draft.
Well, then we did the post-draft confessions as we do sometimes, being like, hey, if I hadn't have taken him there, would you? And we're all like,
no, we said no, he probably would have gone undrafted. You know what? I had Jimmy Fallon on my list at the end. You know why I had him? Because when Maddie said we weren't allowed to draft anybody else into the impressions, I said, well, nobody's going to draft Jimmy Fallon. He did a decent Seinfeld impression, so I thought you could just throw him in the end in the Seinfeld, like as a Seinfeld impression. And then when Tommy took him 4th overall, I was just like, oh, man.
It's tough.
Right before we did that draft, I think I said to Matt or you, I said, I think it was probably you. I said, I don't like being in that third pick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, you said that to me.
Yeah, I said, I don't like being in the
third spot. It's a bit
of
of a dead zone. It's a dead zone.
As
it was
long
part
as
of the
Tommy's
pregame show.
On the pregame show.
I think it was on the pregame.
It was on the pregame. I said, as long as Tommy's in the 4-5 swing, it's like I'm in the 4-5 swing at 3-6. Which is true because
you called your shot there. Basically, you're like, he's gonna have a terrible pick, and I'm gonna be fine.
I draft Norm Macdonald as my weekend update anchor with the 3rd overall pick, and I'm sitting there going, "Man, I hope Tommy doesn't take Adam Sandler in the 4-5 swing, and instead he takes Jimmy Fallon and Stefan." Which I mean was a good recurring character on it, but. Come on, man.
It is a good draft strategy, just being as close to Gazzola, whether physically in the chair or draft
that's
order.
My new thing.
You want to be right next to him. Yeah. And then with him making a pick, I mean, there's so much smoke and fire with that. You can just go on drafting, uncritiqued, shall we say, throughout the whole thing.
Because I just keep
there's so much attention.
To this guy.
Yeah, I'll get a load of that.
Get a load of Tommy's picks, and then I can stay focused on my draft board.
Yeah, that's real easy. Yeah. That's a good. You might have found a formula here for.
That might be the. Clearly, who needs one when you can just draft right next to Tommy
exactly.
G? Because Ola should be here soon. His show starts in 9 minutes. Probably should be walking in here anytime. We should have sent Phrase to pick him up. Stefan or Kel? No, that would be a teenager draft.
Oh, boy.
These guys aren't kids.
I don't know.
We're talking kids. Like
seem pretty childish to me.
Up to like grade 5 or 6. That's about it. Urkel from Family Matters. Unless we had to expand it. The kid from Jerry Maguire. The kid from Jerry Maguire. Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds or 7 pounds or whatever? That kid was great. What a cute little bastard.
What about the youngest daughter in Family Matters who just stopped existing when they were picked up by the other broadcasting partner?
Oh, is that from...
I think that, no, not even Rip City
I
Step.
thought it was Rip City Step.
That's his always justice for Judy.
Yeah, it was
was.
Judy. Yeah, Judy just all of a sudden was gone.
Maybe that's...
Imagine being Judy and getting into a contract dispute and not being on Family Matters anymore. That's a tough look. All right, let's get into the... let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, right here, WilliamHuff.com. They've been doing it since 1972. They actually had a website in 1972. Yeah, they didn't know what they were on.
First on the block, yeah.
Extremely well, yeah. But yeah, they're wrapping. We're talking all the big events you see in the province. These guys are getting it done, and they helped us out here as well. Some good text message. What'd you learn on the show today? Let's get into that.
Well, Frank Reich, we did have a firing during the program.
Yeah, we did.
He's out in Carolina after 11 games with the Panthers. He comes in second, though. Shortest head coach tenures in the last 45 years. Pete McCulley, 9 games in 78. Frank Reich, 11 games present day. And Urban Meyer, 13 back in 2021. So Frank Reich joining some...
You've even beaten Urban Meyer now.
Esteemed company there on that list.
Wow, congratulations.
And who's it, Chris Tabor?
None of your success.
Yeah, the special teams coordinator is taking over interim.
Do you know how
Chris
much
Tabor.
that sucks when you get fired as a head coach and your special team coordinator takes over?
Tough luck.
Like, they're not even going to a DC or an OC. They're giving it to the special teams coordinator.
Interim.
That's how much they valued you. That's a tough one. I learned on the show today that Ryan Rishaug is trying to steal Matthew Iwanek from us live on the show, which is probably not the smartest of strategies.
Bad business.
But it's out there now. Right now there's rumors.
Oh, boy.
Is Iwanek leaving Edmonton Sports Talk to go join Got Your Back?
Yeah.
And it's going to be on message boards and stuff.
And
now,
we bring in Corey Perry to replace Iwanek. That was the big secret all
That
along.
was a surprise. Yeah. No, this is how it works. Iwanek gets stolen by us. We steal your Remchuk from the nation. And then Struddy gets stolen. Well, we'll steal Struddy too.
Yeah, okay, well.
I don't want Struddy to go anywhere else, man. Like, I just will steal Struddy here. All right, let's get to your sound of the day. We haven't played the Dry Settle Goal song. We got all the other goal songs, but we have not got to the Dry Settle Goal song just yet, so that'll be your sound of the day. Here we go.
Dry, dry, dry. Dry, 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 dry. Dry, 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 dry. Rishaug scored a goal tonight. Watching him play is quite a sight. You know this song is tight. Oilers fans, come on. You loved him endlessly since he was drafted number 3. He's a center with a size that was born in Cologne. Try to stop him, you can't do much more. That ain't no lie. You just wanna see him shoot and score. It was try. Gonna make a fool out of you. Probably score a goal and assist on 2. You can't stop him, and that ain't no lie, 'cause it's try. Don't even try to play him rough. Leon is a German, so you know he's tough. His hands are crazy, and Aikens loves his eyes. Yeah, it's try. Gonna make a fool out of you. Probably score a goal and assist on 2. You can't stop him, and that ain't no lie, 'cause it's try.
Man, that Draisaitl goal last night was kind of one of those they're back moments. And I'm not sure they are, like, beat Vegas, and then I think the conversation officially begins. But McDavid on the power play, just buzzing, and has everybody sucked in. Whoop, quick pass across Draisaitl, one-timer, hammers it home. It's just like, okay, there they are. So we'll see how it continues to build. Oh, look what started playing immediately right after that one.
We didn't think he'd be there at the time. Now we've watched him play. We know he'll be.
The one that
Is he
got
still
away.
a kid?
The one that got away.
You could probably
Yeah,
make an
you
argument.
can still draft Jesse
You,
Puljujarvi.
you'd find some sort of loophole
Yeah,
to.
I'm like 3.5 years into the adoption process.
He's your kid. Yeah, exactly.
I still can't get him. That's driving me nuts. Got a spare bedroom downstairs just waiting for him. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. All right, let's get to your text of the day today. Let's go to Mark. He's just in there as Mark. He got the Mark name in the inbox. Corey Perry took a leave to protest the Awanak commish tyranny. Hashtag solidarity.
Solidarity.
Yeah.
Here, here.
Yeah. Here indeed. Mark ends up winning text of the day. You'll be able to find Mark, get a hold of him.
Mark?
Yeah.
Just
Mark?
Mark?
It's just Mark.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Is there only,
How did he get that
Do we only
handle?
have one Mark
Wow,
in
that's
our
amazing.
contacts?
Oh,
Or is
imagine
it-
being the Mark.
I know
Like
there's
it-
a bunch of other Marks, but this guy's name is just in there as Mark.
with a K?
Yeah, very boring, obviously. He has no funny handle.
Mark with a K. That's
Yeah,
it.
Mark with a K.
Even with a C, I would have thought it'd be.
No, just Mark with a K. He must not be from like a small town around here, or else he'd be like Bonnyville Mark.
Can I get the time? Do you know the time off that? It's okay. I'll find.
We'll fly.
I got him. Got him.
You got him?
Got him.
You found him? All right.
Got him.
That's excellent. Hangout's coming up in a couple of minutes here. We'll figure out what we're going to be watching tonight. Matthew Awanak. We'll have Tommy Gazzola. 3 minutes away from the show starting. Tommy still isn't here.
It's a bold play.
There better be some car troubles. How late does Kelly stay open on a Sunday night? Midnight?
Industry night?
Industry night.
You know, I don't know.
night.
Does Kelly's do industry
That
night?
screams Tommy. I bet they do, and I bet he was there all night.
We haven't even got
That's
a coming
valid.
in hot text.
No,
yet.
nothing.
I would think if he was going to be rolling in right now, that should have warranted a coming in hot text about 25
And
minutes.
sorry, just he didn't do post game.
No, he didn't do post game. I did post game.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
Well, he did text us.
It was a really funny text, too.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
But that was it.
But not in relation to all
No,
of this.
like,
Yeah,
but we
I will
we've,
still assume I
we've
haven't heard
gotten
from
a
him.
message
No.
from him this
Does
morning.
he know he's in today?
That's the.
He's
Yes.
just chilling at home laughing.
Well,
Well,
because
these
dude,
guys are hilarious.
well, like I told him on Friday that we'll have him in for the hangout all week.
Yeah. He'll be here. 2 minutes away. I hope he's okay. Now I'm getting to the point
I
where
know.
I'm worried.
Yeah. Well, now
Did he
it's
get in a car accident or something on the way in? Or is he just horribly late? It was a funny joke when we first started. It was like, hey, Tommy, it's 8:25. He's not here yet. But it's
8:25,
8:58.
8:58 are very different.
The show starts
very
at 9.
different times.
Hell, if he was here, we might have already wrapped up and decided to start the other show.
Oh, he got.
there he
I'm
is.
almost there. So
Almost there.
Well,
that's you got to. Tommy, it's got to be a coming in hot.
loose definition.
I'm almost there. Is like when you're like going to be on time. You know. What's this? Chris says justice for Matt. Don't wrap up the show with a justice for Matt. There's no justice for Matt. He quit. There's no justice there, right?
I resigned.
Resigned. Yes.
That's a quit.
In protest.
Quitting and resigning.
I gave the people what you guys couldn't do.
Unbelievable, this guy. Unbelievable.
And I'm for full reinstatement just to get that.
There
on the
was,
record.
but there wasn't even suspended.
Full
I don't
reinstatement.
understand the reinstatement that you guys were talking
We would
about.
take you back.
Give us some time here. We might reinstate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
As we
happening.
said earlier,
I'm not
we
coming
accepted
back.
the Look, if you
I'm not
quit,
coming
you
back.
quit. But you said you announced your resignation.
I resigned.
We don't accept your resignation.
I don't care.
You have to keep working.
I don't care. I'm not going to show up.
Well,
for
then
that.
say you quit.
No.
Once you get the authorities involved.
Yeah.
Go hire one
Where's
of the
HR
100
daddy when we need him?
applicants that you have.
Well, we have applicants.
Go get one of your 100. Go get somebody.
We don't. It doesn't matter if we
Just
have
go get
100 or
some.
4. We just need a good one.
Just go get them. Well, go get them. I wasn't good enough. Go get them.
Fraze is just shaking his head. Hangout's going to be a good one today. This one says he resigned in disgrace.
It was disgraceful.
Yeah. It was, really. We were trying to throw you a bone, right? And you didn't want any of it. What are you watching tonight,
After
buddy?
spending all morning just ripping me.
That's the role when you play the heel, Matty. When you're the heel, people are going to rip you.
You guys ripped me for things that weren't even a part of the ruling, as I pointed out earlier
That's not true.
today.
We only ever ripped you because of
You
the healing.
said that you guys ran out of females because of my ruling, and you didn't take
But
females anywhere else.
That ties into the ruling.
But you didn't- no, it didn't, because you didn't take females anywhere else.
But the ruling caused many issues.
No, it didn't. Not for that
and we
one.
even drafted to your ridiculous rules. And then you
They
still
weren't ridiculous.
walked away.
You also said it was my call. No, it's in the end, you riled up everyone, and you think you could do better. Go do better. Go do better.
Full reinstatement.
Hey, how about Rishaug swearing today?
Yeah.
That was weird. I'm going to send it to TSN and get him fired. Edmonton-based reporter says the S word on online show. Still caught me a little bit off guard. Are him and Struddy just filthy on Got Your Back?
Disgusting.
Like F-bombs and
Absolutely
stuff?
disgusting.
That's just gross.
Clean
Just
it up.
gross.
Clean it up.
My God.
Maybe we should draft them in the children's draft with all that children talk. The jokes can keep coming from this. I say we keep previewing this draft. It's too easy to set up people.
Maddie, Tommy just said he's here. Is he here? You see him?
No, he hasn't walked into the door.
He says, I'm here. Did he go to the wrong place?
Maybe it could have.
He's at the old building. Be like,
1260.
where is everybody?
Oh, we're skating.
My goodness.
901.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough. Hangout is coming up. Phrase, Tommy Gazzola says he's here, but he's not here. This is really weird to me. And former and future EST draft commish Matthew Awanek will be in on the Hangout. I'll be back with the Lock Shop trying to get some winners for Monday Night Football, 6-game slate in the NHL tonight. And then the Oil Stream with myself and Tommy. I hope he's here by then. It starts at noon. That'll be coming up here later today at Edmonton Sports Talk. Stick around. Make sure you have autoplay on YouTube. It'll take you right over to the Hangout. If you are listening on TuneIn or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you're going to hear some Whale and the Wolf, and then the Hangout will begin.
Great show, Matt. Great show.
For Maddie and Lieutenant Eric, I'm Dustin Nielson. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. Have a great day and take it easy.